Hey, boils and poofs chat. How's it hanging? Beta was here, beta is gone. Ooh. What do you guys think? Did you watch any of the beta? Did you guys get it checked out? You did some shit, had a good time? Personally, I don't really know. I'm trying to think about it. I'm kind of racked a little bit. I've been taken a little I've been taken a little by surprise. I fully expected to enjoy this, actually, like a lot. I actually thought I would enjoy the process a lot of this one, but I feel like there's a lot of ups and a couple of downs. And it's sort of, some of them isn't really the game's fault, and it's kind of painting my perceptions these days. Also getting hit a little bit with the influencers. Yeah. So I ended up watching a lot of people's shit today. I wasn't going to do anything today. I was totally going to relax, take it easy, hang out. I wasn't going to really do much. Maybe have one more day. I was thinking one more day. By the way, let me double check the audio really quick. Still kind of loud a little bit, isn't it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it a little loud? I'm not sure how I feel about it. Maybe I can just like that. There we go. I feel that's a little bit, just a little calm, just something to have in the background, right? So, yeah. I was just gonna chill today. So I was gonna have a little bit of a stream, kind of check things out, see how things are going. But ultimately, I decided that wasn't gonna happen because when I woke up, the beta had ended, and I was kind of upset. I was like, oh, I wanted one more day. Especially because my last stream, there was some network errors, and it kicked me out, or rather, yeah, it kind of locked me out, and I was just like, well, what the fuck? So I dumped it and went and played some Darktide instead. So I wanted to come back for like a final day, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So I've been just kind of in retrospect today, right? Like I watched a lot of people up to their final streaming, hour of the beta. Yeah, I've been feeling kind of weird about it. Kind of weird. I gotta say, I thought I'd feel a lot more, gusto. I thought I'd feel a lot more, like, drive. But now that I have played the game and got my hands on it and, just kind of in general, like, listen to some people talk about things here and there. Yeah, I'm a little not as enthused as I was previously. Just a bit. I'm less enthused. And I don't think it's really the game's fault. I think it's just, I think maybe I'm just getting too old for fighting games now. I'm not sure. I thought I felt pretty good about it before, but lately, I have been kind of feeling that way a bit. It's been a little sad. But in any case, it's good to see you guys today. We'll talk about some shit. Today, I wasn't going to do anything. I was going to do some beta, but since the beta was locked out and everything was done, I just caught up on a bunch of other people. I wanted to barf out some of my thoughts. Maybe I can iron out how I'm actually feeling about this stuff. Because I'm actually not 1,000% sure how I feel about it. I'm kind of torn. I'm a little torn about it. Yeah. It's kind of hard to really put my thoughts into words. I have been trying to express it, like, mule it over in my head, but I don't want to say it was disappointing, because it actually was not a disappointing experience. It did play out in a lot of the way that I felt that it was going to, right? Like, I figured that it was going to. It's just, I guess I felt like I would kind of acclimate to it a little bit better. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's like a performance thing where I just felt like I would be a little bit more on the ball. Like I would catch on to things a little bit better. Because I've had a lot of experience with, fighting games these days. And I was hoping maybe a fresh new Street Fighter, you know, being like a real basic ass game, right? I mean, it's a basic ground level fighting game. I kind of felt like things would sort of snap into place a little better. Like things would feel, I could feel things out and kind of get a good idea of what I'm doing and where I'm going. I gotta say, like, I mean, I had quite a bit of that, but I also was hitting all these walls where I was just sort of stuck again, thinking like, what am I doing? You know, like, is this really Street Fighter? Is this what I should be doing? Like, this doesn't quite seem right to me. It's not feeling like what I should be doing. You know, I have a lot of those feelings, a lot of those thoughts. Well, in any case, let's talk about, we're gonna break it down. Like, I'm just gonna try and like categorize shit. So, you know, my channel, I like to do fighting game stuff. At least I have been doing. I'd say, gosh, I think like what? It's been 9 years since I started. It's almost been 9 years. Like, we're coming up. My birthday is pretty much right on that line of 9 years streaming. That is a long ass time. And I'd say maybe like 3 or 4 years into there, I started actually trying to learn fighting games. Actually, you know, do them and stuff. I really enjoyed picking it up at that time. I went into Guilty Gear Xrd, I went into Injustice 2, then I think it was like Mortal Kombat 10, I think was around the corner then. So there was a lot of cool stuff. When I first started out, I was really digging it, and I was really into it. Mortal Kombat 10 and Tekken 7 being the ones that really like triggered and ignited that feel-good sense of like, man, I'm getting good, I'm getting better, I understand more, you know, like I was really feeling that with those two games. And, but we've had a lot of stinkers too. We've had a lot of bad ones where, you know, I'm playing Street Fighter 5 and this is really the key graphic here is that I tried playing Street Fighter 5. And when it came out back on launch, and it was really just a complete disaster. I actually played in the betas. I was really wrapped up about it. I was head over heels for it. I was doing all the betas, doing all the research, reading about stuff, watching all sorts of shit. I really went deep into the Street Fighter 5 mentality because it was pretty promising at first before it was thrown out into betas and things. It was a very promising experience. But then the betas started happening, and they started taking out little by little, like lots of stuff that people were really liking. And so by the time the game actually launched, it really was nothing like even the start of the beta, even the midpoint of the betas, because they had like 4 of them. It was pretty disheartening to see that. And then, you know, I was playing the Collie at the start, and I was like, you know, this isn't too bad. I'm kind of digging it. I'm just like throwing out heavy kick all over the place and crush countering and following up. And I'm like, this is fun. I actually like this. This is okay. 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks I played the Collie doing that. And then I was like, this is great, but all I'm doing is throwing out heavy crush counter kick. Can I play like Chun-Li or something and do something different? And then I tried that. And it really didn't go well at all. It was almost like I couldn't do anything. Like, it actually felt like I couldn't do anything. It's flat nothing. Couldn't figure it out. Combos were not hard, but a little tricky because you had to do the charge with her, right? You know, the spinning bird kick. It was rough going. I did not enjoy the Chun-Li experience in Street Fighter 5. And at first I thought really it was just, you know, Chun-Li. I thought it was just a Chun-Li thing. But the more I played, especially when Alex dropped, I really that rejuvenated a lot of desire to play because I'm kind of a Alex fan, even though I've never played him before. I'm a fan. I really just kind of determined that I think it's the game itself that just doesn't feel good. There was just so much going on, like stubby normals and shit. Really locked into a certain kind of play style and things of that nature that just made Street Fighter 5 really chory, really boring. There's just no player expression. And on top of that, I couldn't figure out, you know, how to work within the confines of this system. I just couldn't figure it out. I could never get a good baseline. Never got a good baseline. So, you know, after Alex, I was like, don't drop it. You know, it's Street Fighter. You should learn it. You're a fighting game guy. You should know some Street Fighter, right? You shouldn't just drop it and let it go. So I hung on to that shit. I came back for some Akuma, I came back for some Cody, and I did like those characters about as much as I did my Alex. But ultimately, I had to, spend some dosh to do that. And so I was in the hole by quite a bit of money at that point. I honestly, at this point, I lost count. It was like, I bought the base game with the DLC, which was like $80. And then I think it's like $30 for a season pass for the next two. There's at least that. And I think I probably bought a stage or two and a costume or two for Alex. So, at bare minimum here, we're looking at what? Like $140 plus, some shit like that? It's expensive. And considering I only really played for the first couple of months there, and then maybe for a week at most afterwards with those other characters. Not a good investment. I was burned, basically. Street Fighter V beat me up and took my wallet. That's how I feel about the situation. It just... I'm not going to go into too much more depth about that, simply because I think if anybody's actually looked up Street Fighter V, they know how horrible it was. And I know a lot of people say that it's been fixed, that it's much better now, and everything's cool, but if I'm being real with you, I'm not convinced. I feel like that system was kind of just broken to begin with. I felt like it wasn't a good system to begin with, and it wasn't just not really going to amount to something where people will want to go back and play it. And I firmly believe that. I firmly believe now that Street Fighter 6 is, in its development cycle where we're actually getting some betas and stuff like that, it feels like there's just no reason to go back to 5. It offers nothing. Like, I really don't know why people would go back. Maybe a character or two, but it's going to offer virtually nothing that any other Street Fighter is going to give, but better. So I don't have good feelings about the latest Street Fighter, about Street Fighter V, honestly. So moving into 6. 6 was supposed to be kind of like let's bury the hatchet, let's try this again, but let's take a more metered approach. Let's be a little bit more, a little less enthusiastic for the Street Fighter part and be a little bit more interested in how it actually works, how it evolves, Don't come in thinking, okay, it's Capcom, it's Street Fighter, they're not going to fuck it up. Try and go in and just be like, all right, let's try this as a fighting game, right? You've played lots of fighting games now. Let's try and approach Street Fighter like a fighting game. What up there, Kari? I'm thinking about the betas, man. A lot of people had their final experience yesterday, or last night, something like that. I didn't get mine. I was supposed to play it again today. It was supposed to happen again today, but I guess they closed it up a little early, so I didn't get a second shot. So I guess yesterday was my final beta day. That was unexpected, but I've been watching a lot of people's streams, a lot of people having their final days, and they were just musing it over, talking about it, and I kind of feel a little mixed after kind of watching that stuff. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about this. I wasn't really going to do much today, so I was just hoping to talk a bit about my time with the beta, kind of barf out some thoughts. What up there, Buisa 1988? How's it hanging, pal? That's a complicated name. Yeah, I mean, so I'm just trying to think it over. If you guys have some thoughts on the betas, please feel free to barf it however you like. Like I was saying, I came off Street Fighter V and having a really bad time with that game. It really, really did me dirty, beat me up, stole my money, that kind of thing. I had a bad time with 5. So I wanted 6 to not so much be a redemption arc. I just wanted 6 to be really good. I wanted it to be a return to form for Street Fighter. And I mean, I'm not really sure exactly, because I don't have a lot of experience with Street Fighter these days. It was really tough for me to determine whether or not this was like, a really great experience or a good one or a basic one. I had some hard time telling. And then I went and saw a bunch of people's streams, and they were all like, hey, it's good, the game's great, they got a lot of quality of life things, and then, but then there's also like this online function that people are still bringing up. Even though it's got rollback, it's like people are not so happy about the hub and stuff. I'm just like, am I being influenced? Am I getting influenced on my decision? I didn't get to play, but I think it looks great, and the game is amazing. I mean, here's the thing. All right, this is the lay of the land here. Okay, my opinion. I still don't understand what I'm doing. I've had 3 days of playing around with Luke, and I can't seem to get into any kind of a rhythm where I understand, like, pressing buttons here compared to pressing buttons over there. You know what I mean? Like, if a guy is blocking, I don't feel comfortable opening the guy up. If I dash in, he presses a button. If I walk forward, he presses a button. If I do nothing, he moves up on me and hits me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this awkward situation of I can't get a good feel. So it is possible that Street Fighter 6 is a really, really good game, but coming off of a lot of other fighting games, having the experience with Street Fighter 5 that I did, where I was really stonewalled with similar problems, I generally was hoping 6 might give me an out onto, like, because these extra mechanics, I was hoping they might alleviate the pressures of trying to understand how to play. But in a natural way, it really doesn't seem to help me any. I was still very lost in terms of, like, what am I doing here? Like, am I doing this right? Like, why is this guy hitting buttons here? Like, can I back up? Do I block? You know, really confusing. And it felt like there wasn't any real direction to help me determine, like, why am I getting hit? All right, am I getting hit for that? But am I doing something else wrong over here? It's really hard to tell. You know, self-analyze. It was really difficult to self-analyze in the moment, right? So, in that perspective, Street Fighter 6, I'm struggling with it, and, like, I watched a lot of, like, not a lot, I haven't watched a lot, but I've watched a couple of influencers, you know, talk about this shit, and they're kind of this opinion where the game is great, but they're also struggling with, like, how some of the mechanics work, I guess. So everybody's walking away with, like, a good impression. I guess that's the important thing. Yeah, people are generally saying this game sucks so far. Doggy water, that's a weird one. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I've been hearing a lot of shit. But also good shit too. Like, I've been hearing both bad and good. And I don't know which way, I don't personally know how I feel about the experience because I'm stuck. I'm stuck trying to learn how to play it. And it's a problem I've had with every Street Fighter I've ever tried. I don't get it at a basic principle level. With punishes and stuff, like, I understand the concepts, but in play, I can't seem to get a good feel for what's happening. Why is a guy gonna press a button here? You know, why would he ever press a button here? I keep coming back to those kind of questions, like, why is he playing this way? Why is he jumping here? And all these things like that. It's really rough going. And it's hard to move forward with that kind of, like, uncertainty. Like, every match after match after match, right? It's just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't quite understand this. If I try and anti-air this guy, you know, sometimes it works, other times it trades. If I anti-air with the wrong button, if I do the special anti-air DP, it swoops underneath the guy and goes off in the fucking space. And it's just like, I gotta use the lighter version, but I also gotta do it a little bit quicker. And it's these compounding issues of little finicky things, and nothing falls into place. That's how I felt about it. Little finicky things that just wouldn't fall into place. And this is like a thing I have with Street Fighter that I really struggle with. I don't understand it. 2D fighters suck. I mean, Tekken has these things too, but for some reason in Tekken, I can understand them. I understand them so that I can learn how to deal with those finicky things. I don't really understand in this one, where it's like, well, the guy jumped on me, I should be able to hit him out of the air, but it either doesn't work or it trades. And it's like, I saw Eris playing this thing earlier. He was playing Guile. He did Guile's super as an anti-air super, and it actually traded. He got stuffed. He knocked the guy out of the air, but he also got stuffed by the jump in. What good is an anti-air super that doesn't have any invulnerability on the upper body? Like, what is that about? That's literally an anti-air super, and he just ate shit for it. Like, why did they give Guile that if he doesn't have that kind of invincibility upper body? You know what I'm saying? Like, just these things don't fall into place for me, and I struggle. I struggle to understand. That's my takeaway thinking about this right now. Just yeah, it's rough. It's rough going. Now, this is from my experience, right, Tulun? Like, this is my experience. I have heard a lot of good things that other people are saying, especially people who are good at Street Fighter. You know, obviously Max is good. He is liking the game more. The more it gets played, the more he likes it, he says. So there definitely is something there. If you can get like a base understanding of the game and kind of grow through it, it seems like there's a pretty chunky ceiling that you could chew on. And people seem to be into that. I just wish I could somehow get on that path, but I'm not sure how to do that. People that are good at Street Fighter like the game. And the thing is like Street Fighter should be everyone's fighting game. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Like it's a legacy game. It's been around forever. It established the franchise, right? Established the genre, basically. So there should be something basically inherent that we can learn how to play. That's how I feel about Street Fighter. We should understand how to play it. But I consistently hit this wall where I can't really move past it. I'm not really sure what to do. And I look up research, I look up videos, you know, I read advice that people post and stuff. It just doesn't really seem to explain certain situations, you know? The only thing in this game that I could reliably say, like, you know, makes sense is, you see this, like, this Ryu, this is, like, literally the first match, right? This Ryu is jumping and I anti-air. Okay, I can do that. But like I said earlier, you know, you gotta be aware that you can trade if you're not doing the right anti-air. If you're doing, like, a crouching button, Luke's crouching heavy punch anti-air. So I would use that because I couldn't DP on command very quickly. If I did decide to DP, I had to make sure it was the right strength because it would fall underneath and he would go up through the other side and it would whiff. So it was really, you see, even medium DP anti-airs wasn't the best choice for Luke because it moves him forward so far that if the guy's jumping deep, you go underneath him and up the other side so that he punishes you. You want to do the light version because he just basically launches himself right there on the spot and only goes up a little ways. So you like have to use the light version. But I believe it does have upper invincibility. I never traded with it. It always worked when I did it. But, you know, you have to actually put it in the special, and when you're busy doing all the other things, sometimes you just crouching heavy punch, right? For some reason, I was also jabbing. I think I learned that from Street Fighter V. I was also trying to jab, anti-air jab, and it got stuffed hundreds of times. Easily, the most stuffed move I did was try to jab as an anti-air. That was definitely a bad idea. I had to break away from that. I mean, Max isn't the best. I know what you mean. Max isn't the best example, but I don't know. A lot of people were saying nice things about the beta. It's just there's a couple of conversations people are having right now. Like, can fighting games even be popular? You know, can fighting games even get out of the niche or niche, whatever, that they're in right now? Like, can they ever take flight? And Tulan's a very quick no. Like, that's a very fast no. He didn't take any time. And then Karari, the answer is no. Man. Yeah, that seems to be the end of the conversation. It's just a big fat no. People don't want to practice. And you know, I am one of those people that doesn't mind putting in the time, putting in the effort to learn. And yet my takeaway from the beta was that this is really, really hard, and I'm not sure I really learned the right lessons. You know, I'm not 100% sure. So, I mean, if I can't figure it out, and I'm like a dude that plays a lot of video games, and I'm trying to learn fighting games. I've been trying to learn fighting games for the last 4 or 5 years now, right? Like, you guys have been here while I've learned to, you know, migrate over and pick up these titles. And I would like to think I have a little bit more of a leg up on a guy who's starting fresh, right? But even I am sitting here just, am I going to really learn Street Fighter? Am I really learning good things? And am I doing the right stuff? And then I go online and everyone starts screaming, you will never learn anything online. Everyone online plays like they're fucking chicken with heads cut off. You know, they're just randomly jumping, randomly DPing. You're never going to learn anything, and then the lag on top of it. You know, I'm like, is that it? Like, that's really it? Like, I'm never gonna learn? Like, I can't learn? It's not possible? It really, I'm just hitting that wall right now, and it really, I keep coming back to that wall. It's a bummer because I think I genuinely enjoy the experience of the game. And I think Luke is actually kind of fun for what he is. People will buy the mash it with friends story, but no learning. And that's true. And there's a single player. This is another aspect, right? Street Fighter 6 has a single player component that's going to blow it out of the water, right? So that should bring a lot of people on board just for playing it, even though they're not going to go online. Just say it, online fighting games are trash. Listen, man, if I say that, does that mean there's no Tekken 8 in our future? Are we just done? Is it just over? Because I was looking forward to Street Fighter 6. I was looking forward to it. I was genuinely looking forward to it. Now that I've played it, and I had fun with it, and I'm willing to believe it's a good game. I'm willing to believe it, even though I personally had a really rough go of it. Like, there's a lot of factors there to factor in, right? So I'm not a clean slate when it comes to like my review of the game. But I have to express where I am coming from, right? This is part of what my streaming is about. I'm not shilling. I'm coming as a person that is genuinely interested in fighting games and has been for the last handful of years. And coming to Street Fighter 6, I'm hitting that wall where I'm just not sure if pressing buttons the way that I'm trying to press them is even the right thing to do. Because sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. And I don't get any real feedback, especially if a guy is just sitting there down backing all day. All day. I want to show you guys. So these are the videos that we had. This is day one. On day one, we had a guy come in who plays a Ken. And he had played in the previous beta, and he has played Street Fighter for years. I want to show off some of his matches because this guy was probably showing us how the game really is supposed to play. I think it might be this dude. No, Dad, please no. This is not the guy's name in chat. Now, I don't know if you really want to take away anything from this video in particular because I play like trash, but this guy's a gold rank in here already, and apparently he seems to do really well for himself. So I think this guy shows us more about the game's potential. And it kind of left me feeling like, I guess maybe maybe Street Fighter just isn't for you. Like, maybe that is a possibility, but I hate to admit to it. Gotta learn lab and locals. Maybe there is something I'm missing with this whole online experience. Maybe there is something I'm missing with that. I can't, Street Fighter just isn't for you. I just don't know if I can accept that, you know? I am a guy who plays a lot of video games. I like video games. A part of me actually takes some pride in dismantling games and playing them, maybe not great, but well. You know, I enjoy that. I think that's really fun. I've always done it my whole life, right? So it's just something I like to do. The idea that there is a fighting game or any game out there that I can't get a good grasp on is kind of infuriating, and is partially why I have some drive into learning fighting games. For the longest time, the competitive side of it has always been out of my reach, and I've never really had a particular drive to learn. But since I stream and I have time to kill with you guys, it actually is really something fun to do, and I can finally pursue an interest that I've really just been putting off for a long time. So I feel good with a lot of titles like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, obviously, it's our favorite around here. Injustice, I guess that's really just Mortal Kombat again, really. But, Guilty Gear, I really enjoyed Exert and Stride, even though the massive change and stuff. Like, I've really liked those games, and I don't really feel that insurmountable wall. I do see that long road ahead. I see a long road with those games. But that's a road that you just walk. You just walk it. You just go down that road. With Street Fighter, I'm always hitting this wall where it's like, how do I get over this wall? Like, I can't even see the road. Like, I just start walking in a random direction, and even with all the advice and resources, which there's a lot of that stuff available on the internet, I'm still struggling with it. I'm still struggling understanding how these concepts even apply to a guy who's just doing this crazy shit, My takeaway from watching you play 6 is that you aren't utilizing the drive system to get in enough. So that's a good point. I want to point out, though, that a lot of people were not using the drive system. And I tend to agree with a lot of other people that are saying that a lot of dudes from the first beta learned not to utilize these unique mechanics so much. It sounds like in the first beta, everybody was completely dumping on using the power move all the time, right? Drive impact. Naturally, it's a very powerful thing. So people seem to have learned from that, and they didn't do it so much in this beta. That's been my experience too. I found people didn't really use drive impact that often. So I ended up not using it very often because I didn't really think of it. I really wasn't thinking of it so much. I was just trying to play Luke. Maybe you'd enjoy it more with a stick? Melatonin? Melatonin and a stick? I don't know. It's true. It is a 6-button game, so maybe stick is better. I think stick makes a huge difference. I hate playing on pad. I don't know. I've always played everything on pad, so it's kind of hard to break away from it. I like playing Tekken on pad for sure. I mean, I can wave dash and stuff a little bit, Korean backdash. Like, I can kind of do that stuff, and it feels nice. Street Fighter, I mean, so I do kind of hate Street Fighter because I have those buttons at the bottom of the controller, the L2, R2. Those are squishy triggers, and I really don't like using those for fighting games. So that does suck. It would be nice to replace those. All the other buttons are okay though, and then all the other buttons are like the only thing I do with those two soft ones is I just put macros and that's it. Not impact the dash, it's so fast. But this is another thing, like even if I use that dash, I don't really know what I'm doing with it. Like I don't understand, because I'm watching this dude play, right? And he's utilizing a lot of these mechanics and stuff, but how does he know I just don't hit him out of something? And this guy, even though this guy is good and he's got years of experience, I did beat him a few times. So there is something, I'm on to something. There is something that I'm doing that like catches on, but it's not consistent and I can't bring it back to the foray very often. And it's elusive. I can't identify like the things I'm doing right or wrong. Like, obviously, I think this is the other part of it. There's an obvious aspect here where it's like, you either do or you don't use some of the mechanics often enough. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that, what about all the things that I do use? Like, am I doing them right or am I not? And how do I know? How do I tell? I haven't been able to breach that. With Street Fighter 6, and it's very much the same with a lot of other Street Fighters that I've tried, I hit this wall of like, I don't know how to proceed. Am I utilizing this right? Because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He doesn't know that. He is aping you, and you panic, so you never get your turn. He eventually hits you and confirms his combo. Maybe that's it, and it's throwing me off as trying to assess, like, what am I doing and stuff. I mean, obviously there's other things. Like, I mean, this was a good point right here, right? Like, you see, like, that hit right there was like a meaty, but it was just a meaty medium punch. Like, why did I do it? There was no reason. There was no combo to lead from it or anything. As far as I'm aware, I don't think Luke's standing medium actually leads to it. So, but let's say I learned that stuff. Let's say that, let's take a fantasy realm and let's zoom into the future, right? Let's say that me and this guy played a lot more. Like, give me like a week. Let's say we played regularly for a week. If I had a pretty reliable Luke and I was executing properly, I knew some basic stuff like his combos. If I knew his basic combos, I was anti-airy reasonably well, and I was utilizing the mechanics, would this alleviate the frustration I'm having where I can't really seem to make any headway, where I can't really figure out how to open a guy up, I can't really block very effectively, I'm not really sure where to interrupt and things like that? Would that be the situation? Would that alleviate this wall that I'm looking at? And I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still looking at that wall, and I feel like even if I was perfect, why is my opponent going to do anything that will allow me to open him up? Why would he ever do it? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's the conclusion. It's like, if I was I guess this is something that you could also ask in something like Tekken, right? But in Tekken, I have an answer for you. In Tekken, There's a mechanic that will beat the mechanic that he's going to beat me with. That's my answer in Tekken. In Tekken, there's a mechanic. I'm going to use it. It's going to beat his mechanic, and I'm going to win because of it. Period. That's just how it's going to be. In Street Fighter, there's more mechanics now with 6. So maybe that can help. Maybe that can help. But my experience was that even with these things kind of here, because this guy was like, every time I drive impacted, he just like triple jabbed and broke my drive impact or something. Or every time I drive impact, he double tap jab and then impact on his own. You know what I'm saying? So there's counters to mechanics that don't require other mechanics. Or I guess the same mechanic in this case, but he wouldn't even have to do that. He could just triple jab and break the drive too. But admittedly, you have to do that right away. So you see where I'm kind of at this. I'm at this point where it's like I have like these negatives I'm bringing out, but then they're kind of immediately rebutted with, well, you know, you could solve that by doing this, and thus we're kind of adding to the wall when we talk like that. When we're like, here's the solution to that specific problem. Okay, but how do I get to that specific problem again without all these other specific problems coming into the limelight? Like, how do I get through that? You are citing experience issues, which goes back to what we were saying about the barrier to entry. As time goes on, you learn frame data and know when it's your turn. Street Fighter is your turn or my turn game. The gameplay is about identifying when it is your turn to go. This feels like an odd explanation, because isn't that every fighting game? I mean, in Mortal Kombat 10, you literally guessed a mix-up. And if you were right, you blocked it, now you get to go. You know, that's the kind of terminology I would apply to Mortal Kombat. So why is it so different why is Street Fighter more about that than something like even Tekken? Tekken's got that, right? Tekken's all about frame data. Like, I feel like even in that game is a I go you go situation. Granted, you're trying to, you know, when me and Tulad were playing at my peak, and maybe not so much his peak, but at my peak, we were like taking our turns where we would just move. We would just make it look like we're about to do something. Try to fake him out, you know, make him crouch so that a mid attack would land, you know? Like, there's a lot of that kind of mental game going on there. But I don't feel the mental game from Street Fighter. And I don't feel it from 6, just as I didn't feel it from 5. I don't feel the mental game there. Like, manipulating people into doing something reliably, you know, identifying people's habits and then taking advantage of that. I'm having such a hard time grasping those concepts specifically in Street Fighter. And it's a problem I've had with 5 and 6. And I fucked around with 4 too, but I didn't really put that much time into 4. So really, these are the only 2 games I can really put that explanation towards, that issue towards. So what is the specific you were having? It sounded like you were playing it, you didn't know when to go. This is kind of the thing. Like, the whole explanation, it's not really just like one simple object. Like, because I can research that. I can research why this one thing didn't work. Let me see if I can, like... Let's take this example here, okay? He just kicked me. This is like some kind of a chain kick that Ken has in this game. It's not actually real. You see, I got counter hit because I tried to attack him when I know there's a window of opportunity, but I chose a button that either wasn't fast enough or I was too slow. Pretty sure in this case I reacted too slow. But he hit me, alright? And it was a counter hit. But I think this then goes into this situation right here. So naturally he kept the pressure on because he hit me. I needed to recognize that and I needed to block. I didn't do that in this case because I was getting my ass kicked. But he eventually had to break off his assault because of the distance being too great. So here is where things get weird to me. Check this out. Like, what is the mindset here of him having moved in like that? Like, he's got distance, he's got to close it, right? So he just wasn't expecting me to hit a button? Because I just whiffed my heavy kick. But maybe he didn't see that part. Maybe he just saw me press a button and then move in. This exchange is confusing for me, and I was there. I am playing that Luke right there, and I cannot explain to you why I did a second sweep. And I cannot explain to you why he moved forward and got hit by that second sweep. this is a good example of one thing that comprises the wall of Street Fighter for me. I don't understand, like, the mentality of why he felt like he needed to move forward. He isn't good, he's aping you, he's always going in. It's confusing to you because you're trying to learn and he's trying to kill you. Well, why are the two so mutually exclusive? If he is aping me and he's just going crazy with his offense, then it's up to me to recognize that and try to figure out how to work around it, right? So if I guess, okay, if I was playing Tekken and a guy was being overly aggressive, such as that, he was just going in all the time. In Tekken, there would be a moment where even though he's doing some safe stuff, he eventually has to do something that has an opening. It would either be a combo string that I block that would then be punishable, or a combo string that just has an opening where the distance doesn't quite work. Or it would be a combo that normally is safe on block, but it's a high and I could duck under it and I can do something. Even just a simple down one jab, I could do that. So these are my defenses against a person who's on the offense. Even if he's trying to do nothing but safe stuff, eventually he has to do something not safe in order to open me up. And I have to identify that. In Tekken, I wasn't very good at that, but I understood the basic tenets of how to engage in that gameplay. So I'm trying to figure out, in Street Fighter 6, really more just Street Fighter in general, how does that work? Because there's not really like a series of combos that the guy can just do, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty hard to it's hard to conceptualize like what your options are and why you're going to go for certain things or why the opponent does. That exists in Street Fighter as well. I don't know why you're explaining this like there aren't unsafe buttons in Street Fighter. Well, why would you ever use them? I guess is a good question. Like, because an unsafe button, like a sweep, you're not really going to use that exactly, right? Like if the guy is blocking and he's already blocking, why would you sweep? You're gonna get your sweep blocked and maybe punished for it. Also, I realize I may be coming off rude. I'm absolutely not concerned about that. We're having a discussion. I'm not being accused. Okay, don't worry about that. I have no problems. This is an honest discussion. I am honestly trying to tell you the wall that I feel with Street Fighter. If it doesn't sound easy to understand, it's my fault because I don't really understand everything I'm coming up against either. Thus is also part of the problem. Normally in a fighting game, I can convey to you guys what I'm up against and how I feel about it, and I can kind of articulate how to handle it in a certain way. You know, I mean, there's one thing understanding how to deal with it, another thing actually dealing with it, right? In Street Fighter, I'm having a hard time even identifying the issue. I'm having a hard time with that. Normally, it's something that I can feel out at a fighting game. I could understand the concepts of back and forth. Like you were saying earlier, Street Fighter is very much a back and forth game. I agree, it is a back and forth. A lot of fighting games are. Street Fighter is perhaps more so because there are less things to do. So, I get that part. But in other games, I feel like I understand intuitively the options that I have presented in order to overcome, like, if I'm going to steal a turn, if I'm going to try and take an extra turn, if I'm going to forego my turn so that I can fool him into taking it later, but with a higher move or something more damaging, just to fake him. Maybe I'll let him skip just so that he thinks I'm going to do something else. You know, I can play with that mindset. I don't feel an innate connection to that in Street Fighter, so I have a hard time coming up with reasons for why I'm going to press any of these buttons. And then, inevitably, this confusion leads to him just kind of down-backing a lot. And if I move forward, he hits me. If I dash in, he reacts to the dash and he hits me. I mean, I know this guy does go crazy on me, and that's true. But that's because I'm not showing any defense, right? Except once in a while. That was just because I'm totally flabbergasted. But there are times where I try to go in on this guy, and he is just very defensive, and I'm not sure what to do. here's a maybe even an easier way to think about this. If I ever fought a Guile, I don't think I would stand a chance. If I ever fought a Guile, because what is a Guile's game plan, right? Down back all day, throw projectiles, and flash kick, right? Maybe watch for dash-in so he'll break throws. But ideally, maybe he's doing like some sweep, the double sweep kick. Maybe he's doing the upside down kick. You know what I'm saying. Guile. I think we all know how Guile plays, right? I've never played Guile, but I do know how he plays. That actually might be the best way to explain what I'm talking about. How do you get in on Guile? Yeah. Now, normally I think the advice is just walk him down. I think the advice is walk him to a corner and get up there. But that is one of those easier said than done things, right? Why is it that way? Why is it easier said than done, walking Guile down to the corner? Is it because Guile has the advantage if he is able to react to you doing anything? Is it just because he can react very well? If the player's good, if the Guile is a pretty good player, you know, let's assume he's like, I don't know, gold rank. Let's assume he's like gold rank or something. I don't know if that's good, but let's assume he's got experience. He's played Guile. The other reason I'm choosing that is because I watched Aaron's play, and he chose Guile, and he does not even know the basics of the game. He doesn't even know like the basics of the game. He doesn't even know drive impact and stuff yet. He was kicking ass with Guile. Like, he was throwing projectiles, he was flash kicking, he was comboing with like light flash kick or something. He was doing a lot of stuff, and it was very impressive. And I think he was able to do it because he's played Guile, you know, for years. He's played Guile in different ways and fought Guile. And to me, I was so shocked that he was so good at a game that he had only played once before in the other beta, and that was it. And I was just like, it's impossible. He's a savant. Like, how does he know how to do these things with... I mean, even playing Guile, I was impressed, but more to the point, like, his defense was really strong, and I'm just like... It's really... I couldn't quite comprehend. I was so surprised. So that is the game plan. It is easier said than done because it was easy to walk Guile down. The character would be garbage. Guile is supposed to win if you don't use the mechanics of the games to get close. If you do, Guile is at a severe disadvantage. So Guile sits in the corner and he throws out some buttons when he thinks you're getting close, and he anti-airs you when you jump in. Maybe he breaks throws if you dash in, or he hits buttons. A good Guile is going to be able to maintain that indefinitely. That's like what a good Guile would do, right? So, as the other guy facing that kind of a Guile, how do you open him up? Like, how do you get in there? Like, what is... I'm assuming this Guile is just reacting, not pressing buttons in the corner. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe there is an element of just kind of throwing out a light here and there. I mean, obviously he's throwing out projectiles too, but he's going to stop because he's going to think I'm going to jump in, right? Maybe that's kind of, like, maybe there's a core element of Street Fighter in this example that I am missing. The nature of what is Guile going to press, and when is he going to press it, compared to me as the aggressor. What am I going to press? Like, how am I going to get, if I'm playing Rue, like, what am I going to do? You know, I can match projectiles, but we're just kind of in that fireball war, and there's not really much to be gained there. At some point, I need to move in, and I need to make him uncomfortable. Like, how do you make a Guile whose entire game plan is designed about sitting on his ass waiting to flash kick you? How do you make him uncomfortable? That seems like a very tall order. But that aside, it also, I don't even know where to begin on that. Because he never really needs to do anything except react, right? And if he's used to reacting, we've seen plenty of players pull that off. See, I would say the answer to that at my skill range is that Guiles wouldn't be that good. A Guile wouldn't be able to respond that fast. A Guile wouldn't be able to predict that well. At my skill level, a Guile wouldn't be that good. He wouldn't be that good. So maybe the real issue here is that I am not applying my aggression to a basic guile. But if we take that example and blow it up through the entire game, I'm not applying basic aggression to anybody. So I think that is kind of like another way of saying it. What up there, PDAD532? How's my hanging, pal? Need to mix them. You're creating a straw man argument, in my opinion. Yes, if you, a newer player that is trying to learn, plays Knuckle-Doo, you don't make him uncomfy. But if you play someone of your skill level that is on Guile, they are thinking about the same things you are. Yes, what you just said is exactly what I mean. So what if I was good? Let's trade me out for Knuckle-Doo versus Justin Wong. Let's do that. Justin Wong's got the experience. What does that mean? Like, what kind of experience are we talking about? Are we saying, like, okay, maybe shimmies? Maybe utilizing some shimmying here and there, move in, move out. That is probably what's going to proc a Guile to think twice about, hitting a button. Accidental flash kicks. That would be one such option. If you were good, you would get close and push buttons while he blocks until he needs space. It is flash kicks you, shimmy it, and punish. If flash kicks you, shimmy it, and punish. Yes, you know. I have these bits and pieces. Like I said, I've done plenty of research. I've listened and watched lots of people play Street Fighter. But yeah, learning that and applying that in my game and trying to figure things out through that method is really, really hard. And I have such a hard time with it. You're jumping too many steps? Very possible. It's very possible. To me, I'm so focused on when am I allowed to press a button and should I press a button, It really just comes down to, like, how do I figure that out? Like, how do I figure that out? Like, what are my buttons and when do I want to press them? There's got to be a universal method to, like, this is how people typically like to play, and this is how typically you're going to want to respond to that. But it's really hard to get that feel in Street Fighter. I can't seem to naturally acquire it. But again, granted, like, I didn't spend all that much time in Street Fighter 5. I got pretty pissed at that game early. I guess because, like, in something like Tekken, it was just so quick for me to just snap into it, right? In Tekken, I felt a flow and a momentum of things, and just mechanic on top of mechanic meant that if there was ever an issue, it just meant I wasn't using a mechanic right, and that's it. The Street Fighter, a Street Fighter as a basic game, if we take out all the cool mechanics that 6 is introducing, you're just kind of left with your own thoughts and feelings and strategies. And since I haven't gotten any real Street Fighter experience, I'm left really confused as to how I'm supposed to approach somebody who just seems like they know what they're doing, who seems like they've got a lot of things on their plate. See, like, stuff like this. Again, this guy here. So this move right here, this is plus on block. I'm assuming he doesn't know that because I do a jab and it hits. I fucked up because I hit jab multiple times. I meant to do the combo string, But at the same time, if I do this too much, the guy will learn that I'm plus and he needs to respect it. And then I'm kind of back at square zero. These are really impressive things too. Like, you see how he recovered and threw? Like, how does he know to do this? Like, how did he learn to do this? Right here. He gets knocked out of the air. And he just throws. He just immediately throws right away. Like, how do you... That has to be experience. Because again, this guy has years of Street Fighter experience before he started playing the beta. So he knows things. And he's bringing that to the table. This must be one of those things that he just knows. He recognized a flop over, he saw that he landed, and he's like, this is a situation in which generally you would want to throw because we're so close and it's fast. Would that be the reasoning of why he went for it? You need to apply what you know against other bronze level players. You think and basically deer in headlights. You overthink and basically deer in headlights. I can totally agree to that. Your opponents generally aren't thinking about these advanced concepts. They're just memorizing some combos and doing them to you while you're thinking about the strength of the special you should use as an ender for the optimal setup. Too much respect. He was spamming grab in the air. I see. So he was already dedicated well before he even landed. He didn't recognize that he landed. He just decided, I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna keep mashing it. Well, why did he decide that? Like, what of this scenario here makes you want to grab? Like, why would he want to do that? Like, did he anticipate wanting to throw, or is that just something he just wanted to do? Was it just a decision? Would something else have worked? Probably, because it looked like I got counter hit, so I must have hit jab again. I never grabbed there, because if you were better, you meaty jab that landing and beat throw. I see. So if I was better, I would recognize the situation probably about as quicker than him. And so right here, see, I randomly throw out a jab, of which, actually, I might not have even recovered from that jab. Yeah, because I was stuck trying to get that combo coming out instead of the. I was fully expecting that combo there to come out again right here, but it didn't happen. So I was like, I was frantically trying to get back to like, what is my character doing now? I hit like 5 or 6 different buttons during that exchange, I'm sure. So this would be an example in your scenario, in your viewpoint, this would be an example of I'm overthinking it. It isn't that he knew it was throw time. It's just that he decided he wanted the throw regardless of what was happening. So because of that flip out, he's like, I better just start spamming throw. I mean, I could see that. I could see that being the case. Unless he's a Jedi, he was spamming throw in the air. It came out frame 1. It's really difficult to process this because it is something that does require a lot of experience too. I guess that's my problem with Street Fighter, is that coming from something like Tekken is so just mechanically based. You can just do mechanics and counter other mechanics, and you're not limited. There's no bar. But in Street Fighter, you're very limited. So you can't always just rely on your mechanic, especially with this burnout stuff, right? Now that we've got drive meter and we get burnout, it's like you really have to work with a very simple game plan. You just don't have enough hours with the game. So let's bring this to the next like point of contention. I don't know if it's really a point of contention. Let's bring it to the next topic. Is Street Fighter 6 a Street Fighter that I want to spend the hours in order to learn? Do I want to learn it? Because right now I'm looking at this big wall. You've definitely helped pick apart some of that wall, Kiari. I do appreciate that. So this discussion's helpful. We're picking apart a little at that wall. So I feel a little bit better than when we started the stream. However, it is still a wall. And ultimately, it really does come down to you just saying, you gotta throw yourself against that wall a lot. Okay, sometimes fighting games are like that. You just have to throw yourself at that wall. I need a little bit of incentive though. I need something that tastes good. I want something that tastes good. So whenever I'm slamming against that wall and blood is in my mouth, I want to spit that out and put like a hot dog. You know what I'm saying? I want something tasty while I'm smashing that wall. Does Street Fighter 6 provide enough euphoria? Does it deliver those real good impacts where things feel good? Like it's something like if I do something really well, do I feel good from having done it? And in my limited experience with Street Fighter 6 in the last couple of days, there are a number of those feelings, especially with the drive impact. I know you said I wasn't utilizing them very much, and that's true. But when I did use them, they almost always received something that were very cool. I like the drive impact. What up there, Mag Daddy? Based analogy? Thanks. You know, you can't go wrong with hot dog and putting things in your mouth. But regardless, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, am I enjoying the things that I should be enjoying? Like, is there a reward system in doing something? I could specifically state I really like the drive impact interactions. I really enjoyed that. When you use it to counter a drive impact, you feel like a fucking king. Like right there, like this is not even like what I'm talking about, right? Look, I'm just being an asshole. He drive impacted me. He gets a hit. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna I'm gonna bash because I don't know what I'm doing. Somehow he whiffed, and then I'm just gonna drive impact. I'm just gonna drive impact, and he doesn't recognize that he is hitting my drive impact. He doesn't recognize it, so he doesn't do his own in return. And that feels pretty good. It's just a drive impact, and it just works, and I get a nice big splash counter hit because he wasn't really paying attention. Like you were saying earlier, he was just going ham. Because he doesn't need to do anything else. Like, I can't defend myself. That felt good. It does feel good. And then it feels even better when they're like, they drop all their cum to the floor, when they're in burnout status, all the color falls down, all the jizz splashes, and they're in the corner and you hit them with it. It's very rewarding. It feels good. So there's at least that. That felt good. I can't answer that for you. I love Street Fighter and will play it. If you want to run sets when I'm down, I'm always down. There is a knowledge wall you need to climb, and once you have it under your belt, you don't need to think about many of the things you are worried about in neutral at the current moment. I guess it's not the first time I've had that response. And the thing is that I have taken that advice in other fighting games and I've ran with it. But I feel like in Street Fighter, just as the franchise, right? I can't see very well down the road. I can't see where I'm going. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see it very far. In other fighting games where that answer has been an answer and has served me well, I kind of had a direction that I can go. Something I can work on, something I can improve on. Very often I would start a game of Tekken and I'd say like, okay, today I'm going to focus on breaking throws, or I'm going to focus on low parries, I can think about something very specifically, and it kind of feeds into that feel good thing where it's like, hey, I did the thing I said I was going to focus on. You know what I mean? In Street Fighter, telling me that I need to just put the hours in is still a reasonable thing to say. But it's harder for me to digest because I do have a difficult time seeing what I'm trying to do, like specifically apply myself to something. I guess part of it too is just like it's hard to like take away like when you do something right because you're just so concerned about what you're not doing right. There is a little bit of self-defeatism in there. That's true. The crux of your problem is you don't think it is obvious when you can press buttons or what you should do. It not only is it just not obvious, but it's like it's not really determinable. Because like there's a real classic piece of advice: review your tapes, right? Review your matches and look back at them and try and learn and dissect. And I kind of do that from time to time. Admittedly, not all that often, but I will go back and look at things and stuff and see like what happened. But I have such a hard time determining like what is the good information to take from such things. A really hard time. Like I'm watching this video, here and there. Obviously, I'm talking to you guys, so I'm kind of in and out. But when I sit here and I look at this, like it's really hard for me to determine like a routine that I could kind of identify and then improve upon. Like, obviously, I didn't anti-air this guy very well. That's something I could work on. I mean, he jumped in a lot, and I didn't anti-air. But at the same time, you see what I mean? Like, this is to me. I feel like I'm reliving this. It's kind of hard to get away from it. So, like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing? I dash in low. I should have had a sandblast. Number one. But then I decided to back up. Sandblast. Because I fucking hated that I didn't sandblast when I did the low. I'm backing up again just to do it. Just to create some distance because I knew he was going to do something like jump. I don't know I guess he was trying to go for a low there, so I matched him and I hit him again. Was this the right thing to do? Like, I'm trying to think here, like, am I calculating range? Maybe that's because right here, like, I'm thinking, okay, he's this far away from me. Like, he can't do a whole lot of things to me very quickly, but he could do something rather slow, right? Like a medium kick could probably reach me here. a medium low forward, I think they would call it, right? A low forward in a fireball would probably hit me. So maybe I'll do it to him before he does it to me. And that's generally what it looks like I go for. I don't know what I couldn't quite tell what he was doing. It looked like he had something going on there. But at least I did get the combo, so that looked good. So is that a good choice? Like, is that a good choice? The way he jumped in like that, the way that I responded? Or is there something better? Because he could have just blocked it. And if he had blocked it, I would have needed to have done something else. What other thing could I have done at this kind of general range? It's hard to think about that stuff. AFK, that's cool, man. I appreciate the back and forth. I don't have any problems with you guys saying whatever you need to say. Like, I'm not worried about it. This is just honest discourse about Street Fighter, man. At the end of the day, this is just a video game. And it is a fighting game, but it is a video game. And I like talking about this stuff and just kind of getting my head wrapped around it, you know. Wanting to get better at a fighting game is kind of just like something I like doing. But understanding it is like the first step, right? Like understanding the basics of like what's happening on screen. This kind of thing, it's just, I don't know. Street Fighter has always been very difficult for me to like naturally quantify. Like I can't really understand the back and forth as well as I do all the other fighting games. And I don't mean to say like I'm really good at the other ones. It's just that I feel more comfortable with them. Street Fighter, I always feel uneasy. Just right from the get-go. I just don't really. I guess him having attacked like that, I really should have recognized it and maybe hit a button. I mean, is this a punishable move? Is I did a sweep and he just blocks it, and that's definitely punishable. This right here is not real. I just learned this very recently. So Ken does this into this spin kick. Now, what he does after here, it takes a second. So you can do a thing, which as you can see, I jumped. Unfortunately, that's not fast enough. So he kicked me in the shin. Was that even a combo? I don't even think that was a combo. Wait, what was that? Does he kick? Yeah, see, he just did a low forward. So that's some. I think in a situation like that, maybe an EXDP would be good because you get invincibility. But maybe you can just jab. Because I have a nice combo that goes from jab. So, you know, things like that. Like, I can kind of take these things apart and specifically go through bits and pieces. It's just once I pull the magnifying glass back and I'm looking at the whole match and stuff. I don't know. It's a game where everything that you do is very specific. That is really cool. When you counter guys with the drive impact, you just counter with your own. It is really cool. That is a satisfying feeling in that. Anyways, we were trying to move past all that stuff. I feel like it is a wall. It is a wall, but it is a traditional Street Fighter wall that I am engaged with. You know, one that I'm trying to get past. Does Street Fighter 6 bring enough to the table that makes me want to engage with it and want to get through that and like figure it out? I think so, because you know that drive impact's fun. There's a whole thing to do with parry, which I virtually never used. The green Russian stuff, like that could be cool, but I gotta figure out how to use it because Luke doesn't really have like a threatening low. He has like a light. He has to go light kicks. Yeah, crouching light kick. I actually we'll go through it later because I did a little bit of training stuff. We'll look at that video in a bit, but yeah, I think I have to learn how to like apply my pressure before I can use that green stuff and actually dash in like that. But that's character specific, right? You can maybe Ryu would probably have a much easier time utilizing it and shit. But yeah, those are cool. I like the new mechanics. I think the new mechanics are great. I haven't heard a whole lot in terms of like who hates new mechanics. I haven't heard a whole lot there. So I don't know. Maybe the mechanics are doing pretty well for themselves. A basic Street Fighter game underneath it, which I haven't heard anybody complain about. I'm only complaining because I suck. But yeah, the basic mechanics of the game seem pretty cool. If you take away the new 6 aspects and you just talk about, you know, playing some Super Turbo underneath all that. everyone's burned out, that kind of situation. Uh, Seems like a lot of people are very happy with that. It's very traditional Street Fighter. So if you're good at that stuff, you can kind of fit right in and you can bring a lot to the table. Sounds like a lot of characters have a lot of sauce. So you can do different things with different characters. They're not all tied into specifically playing in like a really optimal one key note. You can actually do different things with different characters that will have different situations. They will maybe do more damage, less damage. There's always optimizing, but the way that you want to play your character is usually more important than being perfectly optimal. And it sounds like Street Fighter 6 so far has a pretty good amount of room for that because of everything sharing with the drive meter. You can choose to do stuff and it all kind of goes from the same resource pool. So it's based on how you want to play. If you really like to punch out the damage, you can dump it into that, or you can use it for more momentum or movement. So that's good. And again, I haven't heard anything negative in particular about these mechanics. It sounds like the more people engage and get better with them, the more interested they are in them. I suppose maybe that means a potential negative is there's a lot of mechanic. Like maybe that could be a potential negative. If there is a lot of mechanic, that could be kind of disheartening for some people, I suppose. It's a lot more to think about, right? Like I'm already talking about there being a Street Fighter wall that I'm trying to get through, right? Just a basic gameplay thing. And on top of that, we now have these mechanics. So maybe some people don't like that. Since I'm coming from Tekken, and Tekken is a very mechanic heavy game, it doesn't really rub me the wrong way, like at all. Like I'm pretty satisfied with it, like regardless. I think we got some fights here. I don't know. I had a fun time with it. I definitely had a fun time with it. I guess I'm just kind of frustrated with like not figuring out certain things, which is something I have with every Street Fighter and is not changing with this one. I wasn't really sure if it was going to be a thing that would change, honestly. It might just be one of those things where you got to get used to it. And do I want to? Do I want to get used to it? I think I do. I have to be honest though. I feel like Tulad's prophecy is a little bit in effect here. He claimed that I would probably play it for a few days on Flush. I'm not as excited. The game is a pretty basic level of fun, and I did like it. I had fun. It's just now that I have played it, I do feel like I could kind of relax a bit. I can kind of wait a bit, for the game to actually come out. I'm not jonesing so bad to play it. Like at least right now. I mean, granted, the beta just ended today, right? But I'm not really teething to get back into the game at the moment. I actually felt pretty good about stuff. I'm willing to relax, see what they change. When the game fully comes out, then I could be really interested again. But for now, having gotten to play the beta, which again, a lot of people didn't even get to do that. Poor Kairari didn't get in or anything. Like, that sucks. But having had the experience of playing it a bit, a little bit of the hype has died down for me. A little bit. I guess it's because, again, of that wall. I don't mean to go back to it like, oh, this game sucks. I don't mean to say it like that. It's just that, for personally speaking, that difficulty of overcoming and understanding the basic elements of the game is rough. It's really rough. And the way that I learn doesn't make it easy. So I am scrutinizing Street Fighter 6 a little bit harder than people who like it, But this is also kind of a valid viewpoint. If I'm being honest with you, I think this is a valid viewpoint because a lot of people are not going to really be all that keen on picking up Street Fighter if they don't already know about Street Fighter and don't already engage in it. So as a brand new Street Fighter, for people that don't have any experience, this could be kind of a rough thing to drop into a little bit. But it also has a lot of things that like makes it better for people. Like the mechanics that they have on top of it and stuff, that actually is very new person friendly because it's direct. Use this drive impact, you have armor, counter drive impact with your own. Stuff like that feels really good, and it's intuitive. You can naturally just play and figure it out on your own, which is great. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good Street Fighter. I think. And it has enough drive. I have enough drive in that I would like to play it some more and see if I can really start tackling that wall that I have. I think I would like that. It's not an immediate... I don't feel the hype levels like I did for Tekken 7. I definitely don't feel that way. But having explained it a couple of times already, perhaps that's just... There's just an element of 2D fighting games that I don't really dig that a lot of other people do. But I don't really like that answer. You know, I want to have a Street Fighter. I still want a Street Fighter to be mine, and I think this really could be a very good Street Fighter to make yours. You know, just be like, I'm a Third Strike main. You know, there's plenty of dudes like that. I'm a Super Turbo guy. Like, yeah, I think I could probably settle on being a Street Fighter 6 guy. So far, I feel pretty good about it. I'm not like insanely hopeful. I'm not over the moon like I was with that. Like, I'm really hoping that's how I feel with Tekken 8, honestly. But even then, we don't know. We haven't even seen anything of it. Not that much. So I don't know. But in this game's case, I think there's enough there to get mildly excited, to at least feel something good. And I would like to see and play the game in its entirety. You know, the real deal. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Overall, generally good impressions, right? Like, I think a lot of people say that. I haven't seen a whole lot of, you know, dissenting opinion on that yet, but maybe we'll get into that a bit. So, it sounds like you guys have been enjoying it. Everything was pretty cool. There's a little bit more I want to talk about. I want to show off a bit of what I was doing with Luke. I want to show off a couple other things. Actually, I'll let this run. Give me a moment, though. It's getting really warm in here. I think I turned on the heat too much. Give me a few minutes. I'm going to play this music for you. Just a few minutes, and I'll be right back. And we'll talk a little bit more. I want to show off what I was doing with Luke. And a few other things.
You bucket of bullshit! Say your Buddhist prayers!
All right, I'm back. Did I hear just another follow there? Mac Daddy Swag 69. Nice name. Thanks for the follow, pal. I appreciate that. Did you get some beta time, man? Did you get to try it out? I turned the heat on. I turned the heat on too high, so now I'm all sweaty and shit. It's also snowing outside right now. I can't believe it. They said it wasn't going to snow till tonight, but there's actual snow out there. I've been having a good day. I got a lot of sleep in, so I feel good. I kind of am a little upset because I was supposed to get one more day of the beta. I was supposed to wake up in time and do the last day here, but it didn't pull off. Don't play Street Fighter, just like hearing you talk about it. Oh, really? Well, that's cool. Appreciate that, man. Not a lot of people around here will admit to liking me to talk, so... I'll take that shit to my grave, buddy. Thanks. Cool. So, good to see you, man. I want to show you guys some shit I did with Luke. I actually took a little bit of a segment out. When did I do that? I think it might have been day 3. I actually took a segment out here. I wanted to show you guys some basic Luke shit that I was doing. I don't think any of this is particularly optimal or nothing, but these were things that I kind of engaged with the guy. Let's see if I can remember what was going on. So this is like, let's see, the jab here. Yeah, this was the most basic thing in the world. This is probably his ideal punish for things that that recover pretty quickly. You just want to do light, medium, heavy, and then you can end it with any special that you want. I did this one a lot. That one was my favorite to do because sometimes you can fake them, you can fully charge it, and they will try to do something about it. And they'll do it too early because you're back there fully charging up the fist, and then you can let it rock. I think it would be better to time it for the perfect, so that if they do block it, you're like plus, so it's not too bad. There was something that in this video that I didn't quite have that I wanted to show you guys. Tight. I actually ended up I made a video. Actually made a video here. I don't think it's this one. No, I think it's this one. So this deal here. So you see that little move that I'm doing there? I'm doing like a light. This is like Luke's only comboable low outside of the low forward. So the crouching medium kick into Sandblast, you can do that. But for Luke to get like a combo, you need to do crouching light kick, crouching jab into standing light kick. That's a standing light kick right there. So with those three hits, you can convert a low into something by doing the backwards Hadouken double punch, which is that move, right? So at this point, you can kind of do a couple of things. You know, you can DP if you find the right strength. I think you could do like a Sandblast. I think you could do Sandblast at the end of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could Sandblast. So there was a low. I didn't actually get to use this in the beta because I didn't learn about it until way too late. But this is a way to threaten with lows, especially if I do that dash in thing. You get a couple of options. There you can see I drop it a few times. I'm just trying to mess around, showing off like if you can use it. You don't need the green stuff for this to work. This is actually a natural combo. But it's one of those ways that you can really threaten a low with Luke. Otherwise, I wasn't sure what else to do. The idea here, of course, is that this dash in here is scary because you can either go in with an overhead that then goes into some more damage, because you make it, when you do this dash, you have more frame advantage. So normally with an overhead, you don't get anything. You just get that damage and you move on. If you dash in overhead, you get that damage, plus you can link it into something else. So that's your threat for why they shouldn't down back all the time. But what if they stand and block? You need a threat that hits them in their feet. When you do this dash in, you need to threat them one way or the other. So with Luke, the only real threatening thing I saw with him was doing a crouching medium kick into Sandblast. That's a Hadouken. It's just not very threatening. Like it doesn't do much damage at all, really. It's kind of whack. So it's not much of a threat. So I think this is better because you can link it with this EX move here and then get some kind of like pretty chunk of damage, pretty decent chunk, especially if you spend a little bit more EX meter to do the head, whatever that move is, the neck breaker. Yeah, I'm not sure if Sandblaster actually connects, but you can do that. You can do a back, another uppercut thing. Yeah, that's the one I started using there too. And it kind of depends on the positioning, like where they end up, if you want them to end up in a certain spot and stuff like that. I think you have to use the uppercut though. You can't use the forward one. Yeah, I don't think you can use the forward punch. Yeah, this one is probably the most damage at 2190. If you're going to go for this low string, this is probably the most damage. But it also, you're going to use look at how much drive bar you use to do that. That's a huge chunk of your bar because you did the parry dash in. That took a chunk. You had to use the EX move to do the double punches. And then you used one more part of that to overdrive it even more, to OD it even higher, which is a unique Luke thing. Only Luke can do that. So it's a pretty impressive amount of damage considering he really doesn't get anything else from Lowe's as far as I've been able to tell. But he threatens. It's a threat. I mean, it's something. They can't just sit there and you know, stand block all day and not expect me to do that now. So that's something that you can work on. Yeah, that was something I wanted to take a video of just to, like, show, because I never did that in the beta. What else was I doing with this guy? We'll check. We'll take a look at some things here. So this is supposed to be his plus frame stuff. On block, +3. Oh, that was on hit. Yeah, that's on hit. I think it's still +3 on block though. Let's fast forward. There you go. Yeah. So this is the only move he has, as far as I'm aware, that's plus, other than the special where he fully charges and then punches forward. That one you're plus if you charge it to the perfect point or fully charge it. If you just let it go right away, you're negative. So it's not safe. This is the only other thing he does where he ends in a positive frames as a move. I don't really know what to do with it. I actually experimented with it a little bit during the beta while I was playing, but I'm not really sure what to do. You only get like +2 frames, so it's not like a whole lot. But it is advantage, so it may be like a frame trap. If the guy doesn't know that this is plus, you could like just hit a button and get a counter hit. Maybe you can just go for a throw because you're +2 and he's expecting you to, you know, frame trap him. You could just throw him. That might not be a bad idea. So, yeah, I tried to use it. I just wasn't really sure what else to do with it. Yeah, that's his overhead. You definitely want to use the overhead for the dash in. That's a really nice move. People are kind of wise to it, though. They seem to realize that if you dash in, you're probably going to do the overhead. Because the overhead, like, leads to, like, light, medium, heavy punch combo that I was using earlier. Like, it leads to some pretty hefty damage. Not really sure what else we had going here. Yeah, so this was showing off how this, if you get the perfect, it's +4. So this is really good if you want to stay up in the frames. But, you know, they can armor that. During this downtime where you're winding up that punch, they can just drive impact to you and you're done, you know? Or they can hit you. They can actually hit you out of it as well. A lot of people timed a kick or a punch at the right time and knocked me out of it. So this is kind of a gimmicky thing. You really don't want to lean on this. A better option, instead of doing that punch, is to do a sandblast, a light sandblast. I don't think I do it in here, but a light sandblaster is much safer than that. This is his medium punch. If you just hit medium punch a bunch, I really don't know what to say about this move. It's got really good range, but you got to hit confirm that punch, and if you were wrong, you're gonna eat shit. Like, it's hella punishable. So you gotta be careful. What's up there, Lexa Russell? How's it going, pal? How's it going here? It's going good, man. I'm just trying to review my time with the beta. You know, I'm not very deep into Street Fighter. Like, I've been wanting to get a Street Fighter going, so I'm just digging through the beta, just seeing how it is, what people thought. You know, did you get your hands on it, man? Did you get to play it a little bit? It was pretty exciting. A lot of people enjoyed themselves. Even Eris. I was really surprised. That guy, like, he's a Tekken dude. So to watch him pick up Guile and absolutely decimate with Guile, like, it blew my mind. Like, that guy, he knew what he was doing. Yeah, it's great. It's been fun, man. It was a cool beta. I don't know 100% if I'm, like, super duper hyped for 6 now that I've gotten my hands on it and I've tried it. Like, I liked it. I had a good time and I liked it, but I still encounter those problems that I have with Street Fighter, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, am I really going to be able to get through that? You know, there's a big Street Fighter wall. It's tough to get past that. So a lot of me is just thinking about that. I'm just thinking, is it a matter of time? Do I just got to commit and play a bunch, and then, you know, eventually I'll figure it out? I'm not sure. It's kind of hard. It's hard to see past that wall, but I would like to. I play a lot of games in general, and I like fighting games, so it would be nice to have a Street Fighter. I'm good, thanks for asking. Glad to hear, pal. Cool. Yeah, it's been a good day. I missed the last day of the beta. I overslept. Like, I didn't realize they were going to close up the beta in the middle of my sleep, but yeah, they did. So I figured we would just review it. I hear Street Fighter 4 was sick. What you think about it? So Street Fighter 4, I wasn't streaming when 4 came out. I picked up 4 back on vanilla, and I thought it was kind of cool. It was neat. I mean, you gotta really understand, like, back then, the biggest cultural impact of Street Fighter 4 was simply the fact that it was 3D. If you can even like fantasize about that, right? You know, like, you're living in a decade, you're living in an era where the most impressive thing in the world is you took something that was normally 2-dimensional and turned it into a 3-dimensional game. Like, turning it into 3D was really impressive. Like, everybody really, really liked it. And they had done that with, like, Street Fighter EX plus Alpha in the PlayStation days and stuff, you know? But it wasn't a proper Street Fighter game. It was kind of its own 3D fighter game, like Tekken and Soul Calibur and Virtua Fighter. Like, they have their own way of play. Transferring the 2D style to the 3D realm and having 3D models and everything, that was just so new and incredible. And to keep that pristine gameplay and transport it over to the future, and that's what we have now. Like, this is what we see and what we have now. That shit was really impressive, and it really took off. Like, Street Fighter 4 was super popular when that happened. Man. Personally, though, I wasn't a super fan. I wasn't really that much of a fan. I played it a little bit, and I was like, I'll fuck around with friends, you know, and then that's all I did. I worked for Nintendo at the time. I had a couple of buddies. We'd go over, slam on arcade sticks and shit, you know. We'd have a little bit of fun, and then that was it. So for me, it was kind of whatever. Although, easily the most popular Street Fighter, right? I mean, that revitalized the whole franchise. Do you play any other games? I play random shit, yeah. Right now, I've been playing a lot of Darktide. Warhammer 40k Darktide. I actually picked up a new PC. And it might be embarrassing to admit, potentially, perhaps. But I have a 4080. I have a 4080. I don't know if you guys are PC dudes, but buying a 4080 graphics card is very silly. It's a very silly thing to do because it's very expensive. But my last computer was like 6 years ago, and I had a 1070. It really wasn't holding up. I have a PlayStation 5 and I have a nice 4K TV, and these two things have sex with each other easily. The PS5 and the TV, they are always amidus coitus at all times. My PC, though, it can't fuck with this 4K TV. It can't do anything, right? It can only do 1080Z, and that's where it's at, right? It's just too much booty. You know, but for my PC, the TV's too much booty. It can't handle it. So I needed a new one. And I ended up getting a whole new rig, and I saved up for it. So, like, buying the 4080 at $1,200, it was a big purchase. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it because, like, I have a really cool PC now. I can play shit, you know, do whatever I need to do. Granted, I played this on PS5 because I fucked up and I signed up when I didn't have the PC, and I kept that PS5 code request. I shouldn't have done that. I should have switched it to PC. I had to play on the DualSense, which was really awful. Yeah, it was super. If this is something you guys don't know about, PlayStation 5, if you're going to play PlayStation 5 games, you have to use the included controller, the DualSense. So if you're gonna play like fighting games or something, this is what you're stuck with. You have to use this. And the D-pad for fighting games is miserable. It's miserable. It hurts. My finger and my thumb still hurt from trying to fuck around with this damn D-pad. Horrible. I use the DualShock instead. The DualShock, I love the DualShock 4. It works great. It's got a great D-pad for fighting games. I use that completely. So when the next beta or the next time this game is out, whatever happens from here on, I'm going to try my best to get it on PC so I can use my preferred controller. And hopefully my hands won't hurt so bad. Where you're from, I'm in Washington State. Great Pacific Northwest. It's currently snowing right now. Which is kind of cool. It was supposed to snow tonight. So, yeah. Any case, if you guys are interested, there's more stuff about Luke here, but really, I had a hard time figuring out a lot with this guy. He's a very basic character. He doesn't have like a lot to go on and stuff, but I don't know. He was still fun. I liked him. It's just there's not a whole lot to work with. You kind of just use your moves. You gotta figure out where to put them. Not a whole lot to think about, which I guess is good. I'm from Liverpool. Cool. How do you like it? Nice place, pretty good. I think there was something else I wanted to show you guys. What was this one? This one was... Oh, this is cool. So check this out. I didn't use this in the beta, but you can do some shit. You see how you do that follow-up knockdown? This follow-up knockdown is so good in terms of frames. You can do back heavy kick and link into pretty much whatever you would like. You can also do standing heavy kick and also link it into some shit that you want to do. So this is really neat. I really like this this follow-up on the DP. If you're willing to spend that little extra bar, you can actually get some pretty cool shit. You can set up, like, it's guaranteed too. This knee here, that knee, even if they block it, it's only like -1, -2, even if you don't time it well. So it works out really good because by the time they're actually standing, you're already in the middle of the move. Like your knee has already been out. So it works really good as like a meaty tool. And look at this shit that you can follow up with. You can do all sorts of shit. It's really nice. And then because of the advantage, the frame advantage of that move, if they block it, you're not totally hosed. They're obviously going to take their turn, but you can at least block, or maybe you can throw or something. You can actually throw, if you do it, you can actually try and throw right afterwards because you're only 1 or 2 frames behind. You could try and do that. I don't know if that's really worth it or not, but I mean, it seems like a pretty cool option. This is another thing. I wanted to do this in the corner. You see how I'm trying to link a DP here? It's a little hard to see because my camera's in the way. But you see, I knock them down. I'm trying to do this. You see, the timing is a little off, but you're supposed to be able to get in with the launcher, that upper launcher there. But you got fully charge it or partially charge it. You don't want to do that one because it bounces them off the wall. You just want to send them up like that. In fact, I think you can even, yeah, check this out. Yeah, that is possible, but you gotta get the timing. There you go. You see that? You can juggle that DP at the end there. That's really fun. I never got to do that in the beta. That right there, isn't that cool? You could like really go into like a series right here. Yeah, so that would be really fun. I like that stuff. It was fun to kind of figure that out. I figured it out too late, sadly. The other thing I didn't use his level 2 super. I should have used that. Would have been better. Yeah, it's pretty good. Glad to hear it, pal. Where is Liverpool? Oh, actually, no. Where's Liverpool? Where is... the heck? Liverpool FC? You live at a soccer club? Football club? Excuse me. Is Liverpool an Irish city? What kind of question is that? Metropolitan Borough in Merseyside, England. Ah, there it is. Is it an Irish city? Why does it say Irish city? That's like the first question is it an Irish? Is it Ireland in England or something? What's going on there? This is where they all ran to? Full of potatoes and leprechauns? Yeah, alright. Cool. Cool. I've never been. You're talking to the most secluded guy on the planet. I have never even really left my own state, dude. I hardly go anywhere. Ugh. Yeah, so I think we kind of covered quite a bit of Street Fighter 6 here. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how like people at large feel about the game. I was reading a bit like some people's opinions and stuff. There was something really funny. Apparently people are kind of pissed about the modern controls. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Street Fighter 6 has classic controls and it has modern controls. Modern controls is the latest attempt at making it so that you don't have to actually learn your inputs. You can just press some buttons and have a good time. I'm all for that. I think people should have that kind of option because fighting games should be for people that don't want to learn them too. They should just be able to hit buttons and have fun. So I'm cool with that. This is like an attempt at that, this modern control scheme stuff. As it turns out, you can use modern controls in an online environment, and basically what that does is you get one button specials. So you don't have to do the motion for a Hadouken, you just press your special button. If you want a different special, you hold like, I don't know, L1, and then you can press the special button again and you get a different special, or something like that. It's something different. Or it's like press back or forward or down and you get a special thing. I'm sorry, I don't actually have a robot in chat. I don't like robots. But I can get you the Discord if you want it. Oop, let me get rid of that. I have the link down below. Copy link. Poof. There you go. It's nothing but food and porn in there, so be advised. The two things my chat appreciate the most: anime, booty, and porn. Or food, excuse me. What up there, Dean Spee and a bunch of numbers? What's up, pal? Yeah, so modern control scheme, apparently people are kind of upset about it. I don't know why, but turns out that there is like a core group of dudes that want to use classic style, right? They want to play Street Fighter in its classic way. They want to learn it and all that stuff. And that seems fine. You know, you should be able to hit buttons and have a good time, right? But these dudes are going up against people that have modern fighting style selected. You're welcome. And so when they have the modern fighting style selected, they are doing auto combos and they are doing specials and supers at one button presses, right? Apparently the classic dudes are kind of upset about this because in a normal environment without modern controls, the people who are just kind of mashing wouldn't have options to do like auto combos. So the people learning the game would probably get a few wins in against people who aren't really trying to learn. They just want to do this auto stuff, right? They just want to mash on buttons. They're pretty upset about that, it sounds like. I thought that was kind of funny because basically, like, if you're using classic controls, yeah, you probably would get some wins in against a guy who doesn't know what they're doing. But now that somebody could just choose modern controls and they don't know what they're doing, they can kind of do much better because they'll complete every combo. They'll automatically mash the same button and it will complete the combo totally for them. So if you're really bad and you're learning how to actually, classic controls, you're going to lose a lot more matches now because those guys aren't required to do classic. I thought this was kind of funny. Ultimately, I don't know what this thing. It's like, come on, man. Modern controls, classic controls, like, just play the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to beat someone to have a good time. Even if you don't know how to use the classic controls, getting random wins shouldn't be the point. The point is that you're learning how to do your Hadoukens, you're learning to DP, like, you're learning stuff. You're not supposed to be winning. You're supposed to be learning. Like, and that's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to take fun out of knowing and learning and executing. That's why you choose classic. So getting free wins on dudes that are forced to use classic, I get why you would like that, but you really shouldn't have that mindset. So this kind of tickled me a little funny. Those guys that don't give a shit about classic, they're just taking modern and just doing their one button stuff. They're doing it and they're having a good time, and the people that are trying to learn how to play classic are not so much. I didn't expect this. I really didn't expect it. What do you do for a living? I am a call center guy for a financial institution. Not a glorious position, but I do all right. I do all right for myself. It's not bad. I work nights too. I'm a big fan of Street Fighter. Well, what do you think of Street Fighter 6, man? We've just been reviewing the beta and shit. I'm pulling out all sorts of little stuff here and there, checking things out. This was my Luke. I wanted to show off a little bit of what I was working on, what I was doing. So, if you guys are interested, it's the last video for the beta. Let's get some fights, huh? What is your favorite character? Mine is Ryu. Ryu is a good choice. Actually, I would probably say Ryu right now is my favorite character. Although I haven't used him yet. I would say, like, you know, aesthetically and like looking forward to playing the game, I probably would like Ryu the best. I'm using Luke because I wanted to use the new guy. I like his Popeye arms. I think his Popeye arms are pretty cool, but I wouldn't call him my favorite right now. Honestly, I wouldn't call him my favorite. He doesn't exactly gel with me aesthetically. His gameplay is all right though. I like how he plays. But probably my favorite is normal Ryu, I would say. But that's specifically in Street Fighter 6. If I were to say Street Fighter in general, I'm a huge Final Fight fan. So any Final Fight character is really cool. Guy, having like Lucia. I think Lucia was in 5. She was cool. I really like those characters. But Cody and Cody is probably like my highest. I would love to see Haggard. I think Haggard would be really cool to have. But we have Cody. We know Cody will show up at some point. He's got it. It's Metro City, right? And he's a staple. He's a Street Fighter character. So like he's my favorite for sure. Next to him would probably be Alex, who's not Final Fight, but I liked him in Third Strike. He looked really cool. I liked his sprite work and stuff. And he was actually pretty okay in 5. He wasn't good at the start, but he got much better later on, apparently. But I like Alex. So Alex and Cody are my 2 characters that I would love to see in 6. But as in terms of like what we have in 6 right now, and probably who we're gonna have for the first while, probably Ryu, maybe Akuma. He might be cool, but Ryu right now is my guy. Evil Ryu is basically Akuma, right? I never played Evil Ryu actually. I played him in I want to say like Marvel Superheroes. I played a Evil Ryu. That's about it. Luke combo is sick. Luke is pretty fun. He's got some cool shit. Yeah, he's pretty fun. He doesn't have like a lot of options. He doesn't have like a lot of like combo routes and stuff. He kind of does a lot of the same shit. But he has all the tools he needs to like play the game, which is really nice. What up, Pokemon's feet? But yeah, I don't know if Luke is. I don't think he's a favorite. I'm just playing him because I like his Popeye arms. I think those are cool. Sandblast is cool. Pocket Sand, you know, I think that's pretty fun. I don't use his charge move where he does an overhead kick. I need to use that more. That's a pretty good special. What else? What else we got? How you doing there, Poke? The chat at large. I hope some of you guys got to try the beta. It sounds like maybe some of you didn't, but yeah. I was surprised that not a lot of people got into this beta. I was expecting a lot more applicants. Or not applicants, but I was expecting a lot more people to get in. Because the first one, it was a huge complaint. Like, easily a very, very, very small amount of people got in the first one. The very first beta was basically an influencers beta. This beta seemed like people got into it, so I wanted to think of it more as like an actual closed beta, you know what I mean? But it sounds like maybe even there, not everybody got in. So it's kind of, it feels like it didn't go far enough. It should have been much bigger. I'm really hoping the next one's either an open beta, or they just, you know, get a floodgate worth of people in, because at this point we need more people playing. We need more people to flood the system, tax it, you know, really mess with it. Get everybody trying to queue up for matches and stuff. We gotta clog the system, really. That's what I think should happen. So, but hopefully some of you guys might have gotten in and played. We have another 6 months until this game comes out. That's a really long time. If anybody like super loved this game, like they've got a bit of a wait. Grab this guy here. I think these were some interesting comments that I was reading about the game. It feels faster to Street Fighter V. I definitely agree with that. Buttons seem to be more interesting and less stubby or short. I would definitely agree with that. That was a huge problem that everybody had in 5, where everything was just like, you couldn't reach anybody. There was no whiff punishing. Whiff punishing, forget about it. It's impossible. This one, you can whiff punish. You can do a lot of stuff in this one. Graphics are cool. I think so too. I know that's something a lot of people kind of jump on. They're like, I don't like how it looks. You know, they don't like the art style. They think it looks like a really bad Tekken or something like that. Personally, I thought 5 looked awful. I thought 5 looked bad, and I wasn't even really that big of a fan of 4 either, if I'm being real with you. visual-wise, artistic-wise, I was not a fan of 4 or 5. 5 to me looked cash out bad. It looked like they didn't give a single shit. They gave it to like an intern and he knocked it out over the weekend. It looked Clay Fighter 5. It looked like Clay Fighter to me. I did not enjoy the looks of it. This one is definitely a different direction, but I like it better than the last one. I wouldn't say this looks amazing, but I say it looks good. I would say it looks good. I like it for the most part. I think they could probably do Chun-Li a little better. If I'm being honest with you, I think they could make Chun-Li look a little better. Who's the character you love the most? I mean, out of everyone we've got right now, it would be really hard to say. I like Luke a lot, and I've always liked Ryu. I think Ryu is a classic. Like I'll pick him up as another character eventually. But I'm more of a Cody guy. Cody's always been my character. Alex is a little bit of a newer addition. You know, Cody was really cool in the Alpha series. I think he was in Alpha 3. I really liked Cody a lot. So I would like to see more Cody. Cody was in 4, you know, Super Street Fighter 4. You should try Kimberly next beta. Maybe. A lot of people are talking about how crazy she is. She is Guy's replacement, right? So maybe she's got like... I wasn't sure if she was supposed to replace Guy or if she was supposed to replace Ibuki. I thought maybe she would be the ninja, you know, Ibuki mix-up artist. But maybe not. I don't know. But they are saying Kimberly's really strong. Which Street Fighter has your favorite graphics? Easily Third Strike. 100%. No holds bar. Third Strike. I didn't even play Third Strike. But you can't even front. Third Strike sprite work all day forever. QT's got that knocked down. If anybody says their favorite isn't Third Strike, they're a poser and you should call them out for it. And then I want you to take their gamer card away and just rip it in front of their face. You can't have this anymore. Your opinions are too awful. You have been denounced. Just rip that shit, throw it in the trash. Third Strike, man, come on. Like, I don't know. I mean, fucking some of the funnier ones, like the, you know, EX plus Alpha looked kind of funny, you know. The Street Fighter 2 HD edition or whatever it was that they did. Sure, I mean, you know, okay, it looked kind of cool, but dude, Third Strike is like the perfection of sprite work. It really is. There's so much love that went into that. Too good. Alpha 2 looks really good too, but Third Strike is insane. I mean, that's what I mean. Like Alpha, yeah, Alpha, it looked good. It looked good, but Alpha looked like Marvel versus Capcom. You know, it looked like X-Men versus Street Fighter. You know, we've seen that. We've seen that look. Third Strike though, that took it to a whole nother level. That was crazy. How can I make your Twitch logo and banner in Third Strike body and your face? Bro, I don't know. I actually, it's a funny story. I had a guy, you guys see my profile picture, right? I got like a, basically Ken's outfit on, right? I had a buddy who hung out in chat a few times. He actually was selling his artwork on Fiverr or something like that. And I hit him up. I was like, you know, I'm looking for a new profile picture. I had one that I stole off like an old Sega Genesis game for years. I'd like to get a new one. He's like, oh, let me make you something. Like, what do you want? And I had no ideas. So I was like, I don't know. How about this me as a fighting game guy? That should be simple, right? Easy peasy. I'm like, you know, I like Third Strike. Maybe you can make it look something like that. He's like, I got you, amigo. If fucking, like, half a month later, he comes back with that profile. And I'm like, this a Third Strike? And he's like, I don't know. I just kind of made Ryu and turned him into you. I'm like, bro, that's not Third Strike. This is just, what is this? I was in love. I love that picture. It's so tight. But yeah, it's funny that you said that. Logo and banner Third Strike style. Because I originally asked for it, but he was just like, I don't really know how to mimic the style of Third Strike. I don't know how to do it. And honestly, I don't know how you would do it either. And I was really just wanting him to do something, just make something so I could throw it up there and, you know, have something different. And he was like, yeah, tight. So he just, I think it's funny. If you see my face, like I'm like all elongated and shit, it's tight. I love it. And I compensated him for his work, of course. I'll send you some work from the portfolio. If you hit me up on Twitter, I had somebody try to hit me up on Twitter and he didn't. He didn't hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter or the Discord, I guess, whichever one. I don't really need any artwork right now, but if you want to send stuff, feel absolutely free. I'm always open. I'm always open. Yeah, that was a funny story. God, what else? We've covered quite a bit of Street Fighter 6, huh? I'm not like insanely excited anymore. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next one, but I think for now I really need to like chew on what I experienced, you know, because again, I'm looking at that wall and I'm just like, am I gonna get frustrated? Like, am I gonna be more frustrated than I am happy? Is that gonna be a thing? I don't know. I think I just gotta put time into it. Check the Discord. I reached you. Cool. Sounds good, pal. I appreciate it. Yeah. Cool. I don't think there's much else. I mean, I was kind of reviewing some dudes' thoughts on this one. 3 supers are cool. He says there's not like a lot of aggressive frame trap, like jump throw mix-ups, but I don't know, man. Like, I think Kimberly's got a few of those. Taking a throw actually gets your opponent away. The characters are actually interesting to play. So, yeah, I mean, there's some... Overall, it seems like people's impression of the game is pretty positive. So, that's cool. I'm glad people liked it. And then there's this other guy. The game's really fucking ugly. I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at it. It don't look ugly to me at all. It really doesn't. It looks fine. I mean, it looks like a video game. I'm really into the video game look, so I'm cool with it. It doesn't look ugly to me at all. Fuck?
Hi and Merry Christmas and stuff. I don't know if you celebrate that wherever you are, but if you don't, then earn you and PLS.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Deep Rock Galactic. It's sick game and it's not that expensive on G2A or something, and it's cool. Team Gamu.
I just read your name. Man, you fucking thanks for the $7, but you gotta use so many words, dude. I understand it gives you a certain character limit, but can't you just like, hey, have a good day, amigo, you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, you know, can't you just be like that? Like, do you gotta be all like something about G2A or something? Like, come on, man. Deep Rock Galactic? I'm a Dark Tide main, you know that shit. Thanks for the $7 though, man, I appreciate it. Tic Tac, it's ugly. I'll admit this shit is ugly. I will hold this freakish abominations and stuff. Yes, this is really, look at this shit, man. Like, the monstrosities in this game. Yes, I will agree. But the actual game itself, like the gameplay and stuff, come on, man. It's not that bad. It looks fine. Like, it looks like a video game. I'm totally down. I think it looks good. Not mind-blowing, but it looks good to me. It looks fine. Like, I like it. I actually like it. Yeah, the hub is really... The hub is definitely Lamau, for sure. I don't know. I mean, are you trying to tell me that you liked Clay Fighter 5? That's the thing. Tic Tac, if you're going to say this game is ugly, are you telling me that Clay Fighter 5 was not ugly? Because there's a connotation here. When you say this is ugly, you are, in a sense, pulling up the previous titles, right? And I'm fine if you're like, well, look at Third Strike. Yeah, okay, fine. I get it. Third Strike is a fucking masterpiece. Totally agree. But are you gonna tell me like Street Fighter 5 looks better or looked better or looks better? Like, are you gonna tell me Street Fighter 4 looked better? Like, come on, man. Like, I start pointing fingers, all right? If you're gonna say this is ugly, then you're gonna say the other things are prettier, and I can't be cool with that. I think this looks better than the other ones, save for the toppest tiers, right? Street Fighter 5 has a unique look. You know, people say unique when they don't want to say ugly because they don't want to hurt her feelings. I mean, I won't say this doesn't look clayish. No, I agree. There's some claymation happening here, yes, but compared to 5, dude? Come on, hold on. Compared to 5? Hold on. For reals? I don't know how you can be cool with that. I understand that it's a popular opinion, but really? Street Fighter 5. Oh boy, I'm gonna regret typing that into this line. You're gonna tell me. You are actually going to tell me with your mouth. I can't believe it. How do I open this? I'm gonna try like that. There we go. Here. No, wait, not that. Do it like that. Enter. There. You're gonna tell me this looked unique? You're gonna call this unique? Come on, man. This? Come on. Come on. Look at the way his muscles are like molded on top of each other. This? Like, better? Unique, huh? Yes, a black tar. I don't know, pal. I don't know. Like, maybe in game. Like, hang on. We'll be honest. Where's open new tab? Here we go. Maybe this is an actual in game. Actual in game. It's a little bit better. I'll admit it's a little better than the last one I looked at. But dude, still, really? Are you really okay with saying Street Fighter V clayish? I mean, the new one being clayish, I could agree, but unique? I don't know, pal. I'm looking at this and I feel bad. I'm looking at this and I feel much the same way when I looked at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Not entirely though. Infinite was way worse, but I get similar feelings. Just, ugh. It's unique compared to other games. Unique? I'm gonna give it to you and just say sure, unique. But I don't know, man. Like, but better than Street Fighter 6? 6 just looks straight ugly? Man, beauty is the hand of the beholder, huh? Listen, man. Tic Tac, if that's your real name. I don't agree, but I support your right to spout that shit in chat. Good call. If you think it's ugly, then it looks ugly. Fine, but I can't be cool with that. Like, I think it looks fine. Yeah, my real name. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of problems with 5, so maybe that's playing into it. Maybe I just hate 5. You know, 5 just fucking sucks. I hate it. Damn. There's a lot of oh my god. Someone just put porn in the Street Fighter 6 hashtag on Twitter. Ballsy. Try to see if there's anything cool. Doesn't really look like it. There's a lot of nudity on Twitter. Twitter does not give a shit anymore, man. It's just like, fuck that. Here's all the porn. Are any of you guys looking forward to like the other new characters, like Melissa or whatever? If anyone says Dragon Ball Super looks better than Dragon Ball Z, I'll freak out. Dragon Ball Super? I'll give it up in that you know that scene where like Goku is in Ultra Instinct and he rides his Kamehameha rides the other chick's Kamehameha and he rides it and then flips over and blasts. That one is really cool. Like that is a cool looking animation, right? Fucking rides that shit, flips over and yeah, I mean that was really cool. Outside of that specific example, sure. I'll agree. I'm not about to start a fucking fight with Dragon Ball Fighter Z fans or something. Or Dragon Ball Z fans, excuse me. I'm not in it. I only watch video games. I don't watch anime. I play video games, no anime. I'm out. If you're to be frank about it, it's a game coming out 2023 trying to look modern, but it's not good. Do you have a problem with any of the Resident Evil games? This is an honest question. Do you not like the look of Resident Evil 2 Remake or 3? And do you not like the look of Resident Evil 7 and 8? And do you not like the look? This is the most important one. Do you not like the look of Devil May Cry 5? Those are my questions to you. Because to me, Street Fighter 6, honestly, looks much like those games. Not as good, because they're kind of darker toned games. But it looks in the similar vein of those. I haven't played them and not seen much of it. That's a fair response. That's a fair response. I would not have an opinion on that. Okay. The thing is, most people seem to be cool with those games. They seem to be cool with it. This is actually a big point of contention for Devil May Cry 5. If any of you guys played it or, you know, was kind of around when it came out, Uncle Dante, like people were really kind of talking some shit about Uncle Dante, right? Let's see if I can whip up an image really quick. So it's the same system, you know what I mean? It's like they're using the same deal here. Fuck, I'm sorry, it's gonna be really tiny, but it's an image. Yeah, it's small, I know. There. So this engine that they're using, it's like the Unreal Engine, and not the what do they call? They call it the RE engine. They call it the RE engine. They use Devil May Cry. They use the engine for Devil May Cry. This had some contention when it came out. Some people looked at this and said, "This is not Devil May Cry Dante. This is fucking weird. This doesn't look right. It looks really whack." You can look up Nero. You can look up, you know, Virgil. They all look fucking weird. They look old. They look really old. So at first, I don't think people were down for this. They didn't like how this looked. But the game came out, and people played it, and I swear to God, most people seem cool with how this guy looks now. They're all right with this look. They're fine with it. To me, this is no different than Street Fighter 6, with the exception that this is a bit more of the realistic realm than 6. They definitely tried to do some kind of a cartoony or cartoonish like bulk to their muscles and stuff in Street Fighter 6 that doesn't match what they're doing here. Granted. But the drastic change, the kind of clay looking stuff, you know, like this picture actually does a pretty good job of not looking clay-y, but there's still like a very clay look to that game, to Devil May Cry 5. But people accepted it. They were like, okay, this looks fine. Like, they're okay with it. They weren't quite at first, but then they got used to it. I feel very much about Street Fighter 6 that way. At first, your initial reaction is going to be like, this doesn't look very good. This doesn't look like this looks like a bad take on Tekken or something. You know what I mean? But the more I watch it, and the more I look at it, especially in action, when I was playing the beta, you know, most notably, it really just comes together and looks okay to me. It's not an eyesore. It doesn't make me want to go dunk my head into a bucket or something. So I don't know. If you like those games, if you had been cool with the design of those games, like Resident Evil 4 remake that's coming up, if you like how those things look, I feel like a lot of that is how Street Fighter 6 looks. It's not all that different. World of Warcraft has a unique look that does not get old since they have been in the business for a while now. World of Warcraft, huh? World of Warcraft. What is it? Dragonflight? Is that the new one? How's that doing, by the way? Is anyone even playing that anymore? So, I mean, World of Warcraft has a unique look that does not get old since they have been in business for a while now. I don't know, man. To me, this looks pretty damn old. Yeah, I'm afraid I kind of have to go with what Mac and QT are saying, dude. I hate new WoW graphics. Don't at me. World of Warcraft is ugly as shit, lol. I don't know, man. WoW has a unique look. You can't say it has not. I'm not saying it's good. You're saying it's unique. I don't know, bro. Like, it looks like WildStar. You guys remember WildStar? Looks like Wildstar to me. Damn. I don't know, man. Like, this is supposed to help your argument that Street Fighter V looks unique, right? That's what you're trying to gross here. See, to me, like these are like exactly the same. This is Wildstar. This is an MMO that came out after World of Warcraft by quite a bit, and I think it's trash. It was trash when it came out, and I think it's still trash now. But if you compare these two graphic styles, like, to me, it looks exactly the same. Like, it ain't no different. There's no difference. And to me, it's like, it all looks undercooked. It looks like Fortnite or something. You know what I'm saying? So to call it unique, I don't even feel like unique is very fair. It feels, I think dated might be a better word. Again, like, there's no wrong thing here. I don't mean to pile on you. I'm not trying to do that. There's nothing wrong with your opinion. It's just that I don't think I would describe it that way. Let's put it that way. I would not describe this as unique. I don't feel it's unique because I see a lot of this stuff. It looks like Fortnite. It looks like the thing. It's like the Pixar of video games, right? I bet you if I go pull up Genshin Impact right now, it's gonna look like that shit, right? It's gonna look like a mobile game. Don't you see what I'm saying? Like this shit all looks like mobile game status to me. I don't want to look up Genshin Impact. Can I just not? Can you guys just in your brain? You guys just in your brain see Genshin Impact? I don't want to pull it up. It's too much work. Yeah, I hated this one too. Can I get this bitch off my screen? I don't know. I don't know. Calling it unique, if that's your bag, that's your bag. But I don't think 5. To me, 5 looked way more claymation than this game. Like it really feels that way to me. This feels like Tekken. This feels like a kind of Tekken. If you were to take Tekken and make it more Western cartoony. We had this debate. This is not a new debate, by the way, in this channel. We had a debate in this channel. Tekken was not anime. I had presented that argument, and the chat vehemently refused to go along with the narrative. They did not agree that Tekken was not anime. They felt like Tekken was hella fucking anime. To me, Tekken's story is anime, but the graphics look like video game graphics to me. They don't look like anime graphics. They look like video games to me. Now, chat didn't agree, and that's that. Chat didn't agree, and that was that. To me, this looks like a kind of Tekken. It looks like a kind of Tekken graphically speaking. It's more cartoony, and thus you kind of get some of that clay look to it. There's definitely like some exaggerated like everything, you know what I mean? So it's kind of along that line. But I think maybe, I don't know if other people would say this is anime. I don't know if they say this looks anime or not. I agree with you, Tekken's story is anime as fuck, not an anime fighter though. Yeah, the story is hella fucking anime, but how it visually looks, I think it looks more video game than it looks anime to me. Anime would be like, well, like what we just saw, right? That Wildstar or Genshin, that looks anime. Obviously, Guilty Gear is going hella anime, right? Obviously. But this looks like an offshoot of Tekken to me. It really does, graphically speaking. DBFZ and Guilty Gear, yeah, that's hella anime. Like, you couldn't get any more anime than that. That is pure disinstilled anime. Thoughts on Super Smash graphics? I'll be honest, I've avoided a lot of Smash Bros. You know, they did a pretty good job on Kazuya. I'm a fan of Kazuya in Smash. Terry Bogard, they did a good job on Terry Bogard in Smash. I'm a fan. I would even argue that those two characters look better in Smash than they look in their own respective games, including Tekken 7. I would even argue that. Because I'm not... Tekken 7 is pretty dated by now. Like, I wouldn't say it's, like, great. You know, I wouldn't even say it was great when it came out. It was just pretty good. You know, it just looks video game to me, which I like. I prefer video game, which is why I like this style here. But yeah, I would say, you know, Kazuya, Terry, and Smash is cool. The graphics of Smash, though, like, I don't know. It still looks like the same Smash Bros. Game I've been playing since Nintendo 64. And I kind of stopped playing after, like, what was the one that introduced Snake? Was that Melee? I played that one with a pal, and that was like the last one I played. It's all kind of look the same, so that's cool. I mean, I don't have any problems with the Smash Bros. Graphics. I think that's fine. I don't really like the games competitively, though. I don't think they were designed to be competitive. I think it's really silly that they have to do a whole lot of shit to make it competitive. I think it's also funny that the guy who made Smash is a huge fighting game fan, and he specifically made Smash so that it would not be a fighting game, so that everybody could play it. And yet, fighting game people still make tournaments for that shit, even against the guy's own wishes. Please don't make this competitive. Everyone else out there is just like, fuck you, we're gonna go play some Smash tournaments. That's pretty tight. I do like that. That is cool. Graphic-wise, though, I don't really have much to say. It looks fine. It doesn't bother me. But it is made for the Switch, right? So it can't be that fancy. That's another question. When is Nintendo gonna do like a real thing? When are they gonna bring Street Fighter back to Nintendo? SNES days. I did play Multiverses. I played Multiverses for a bit, and that was pretty good. That visually, I would say Multiverses doesn't even look as good as Smash. I would say Smash looks better than Multiverses. And I played that shit a bit. You know, I had a Super Saiyan Shaggy for a while there. You know, my Iron Giant was a little trouble, you know, for a few days. Then I just kind of moved on from there. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to get going on here. So anything else to talk about on this Street Fighter 6 stuff? I'm pretty happy overall. I'm glad we got to talk about it. Thank you guys very much for hanging out and talking some shit about Street Fighter 6 beta. I think the walkaway right now is really just it's a good game. People really liked watching it. People liked playing it, and there was some complaints, but really the only complaints I have, literal complaints, aren't even the game's fault. I had to use this atrocious motherfucker for my gaming session. I hated it. All right, this was my fault. I'm glad it's over. I don't have to use this for fighting games again. Thank God. Outside of that, like, it's all personal Street Fighter problems, and that's just me. Like, I gotta get over that shit if I want to play some more. Is 6 cool enough for me to get over that shit? Yeah, probably. I'm pretty excited. I might not be as excited as I was before, but I'm looking forward to it. I would love to have this game come out. I would love it to have it come out. Outside of that, we just have to wait. I don't know. We just gotta chill. I'm really hoping Tekken 8 hits it. Like, if Tekken 8 does well, boy, I really hope it does do well. Is it gonna have rollback? We don't even know if it's gonna have rollback. We don't know if Tekken 8's gonna have anything. We have no fucking clue. All we know is it's got a couple of characters and they all dress funny. That's all we know. Jesus Christ. Twitter is just blowing up. For realsies? Okay. This is potentially a thing. How do I grab this? How do I share this with you guys? If I grab it like that, grab it like, here we go. Let me put a blank on the music. So this is a complaint. We touched on it earlier. This is a complaint. Damn, Doom music? Can I play Doom music? Yeah, the customized characters were pretty fucking wild in this game. I'm gonna mute that just in case I'm not allowed to play it. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to play Doom music without getting copywritten. This is probably the worst thing about the game. It's these created characters monstrosities. Every single person complained about this. However, when I say that, what I mean to say is pretty much every influencer complained about this. I don't know how normal humans feel about these crazy customized characters, these ridiculous created characters. Because they're kind of optional, right? You don't have to you don't have to mess with them. They're not like real characters that you fight, right? It's just some messed up shit. So, you know, it's like it's a complaint, but you don't have to deal with them. If this is the main complaint, the game's in a good spot. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? If that's the worst fucking shit, what up, McCall? Then we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. But it was really just influencers I was hearing, you know, yelling about that stuff. Because they got a stream going, and they're getting stream sniped by these fucking crazy looking characters and shit. So, I get it. I would get that. Personally, like, I don't like seeing this stuff myself. Because I don't even like customized characters in Tekken. I don't even like how you could dress them up and shit. Like, I don't like that stuff. Because you have to fight it. And I don't want to fight a fucking Akuma in an inner tube and a shower head. Like, I don't want to fucking deal with that shit. It's stupid. Just knock it off. I don't want that. But this is just a character. It's just some offline... It's a single-player character, right? This is going to be your single-player character that you then import to the hub and fuck around with. Yeah, if it was fighters, I wouldn't want that. But I don't care about the hub world at all. Yeah, and that's been a big complaint. Which is pretty hilarious. Because that's like one of the few complaints I've actually been hearing. Yeah, hasn't really been much else. What the fuck is that? Chat, what is this? Did one of you guys do this? Is this one of your guys is doing? Who did this? QT, is this you? Did you draw this? Hey, who was that guy from earlier? Lexi Russell? Was this you? Was this one of your works? Am I gonna find this in the Discord? That's pretty tight. Giga Chad Ryu. That's great. Ooh, hey, I know something we can do to end the day. Do you guys want to take a survey? I totally forgot about this. We have a survey that they sent out. So we can take it. Okay, hang tight. I'm gonna grab this. Oh, shit. Let's see. We're gonna make you small. I'll grab you over here. Huh? Oh, shit. Okay, hang tight, hang tight. This shit's getting weird. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to click around here. I need to log in here. I forgot that they gave us a survey, so I'm gonna try and grab this. Go over here. Okay. I'm gonna have to change. There we are. There we go. All right. We're going to have to use my little personal browser, but who fucking cares? Not a big deal, right? So, survey time. We just talked a lot about Street Fighter 6. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Good times. I'm sure a lot of people are jonesing too, right? So, let's give our thoughts of the Street Fighter closed beta test number 2. Do you think you would recommend Street Fighter 6 to your friends and family? Please choose the likelihood, with 10 being the most likely. Well, if it was only based off the beta, I would say no. Because I don't know anybody who cares about fighting games. You guys are the only ones that I know care about video games in general. So fighting games, it's even harder. But it does have a pretty good single player content that we haven't even seen much of yet. So that kind of helps. I would probably set it at a 7. Because honestly, the single player is the only reason I would give it a 7. Otherwise, I'd probably give it like a 3 or a 4. This is just one of those games where you got to know yourself if you're going to like it. So I'll put a 7. It's pretty safe. If the single player ends up being good, then it's a safe bet that they will at least enjoy that part. Do you plan on purchasing Street Fighter 6 when it releases? I think we can all agree that if you're here after 2.5 hours of talking about Street Fighter 6, we're probably gonna buy it. It could be Tulad's prophecy could come to fruition. I might end up playing it a bit, and then I won't play it much beyond that. It's possible, but you know, QT, Mac Daddy, PDAT, like if any of you guys come back and you want to play games in Street Fighter 6, that's a pretty strong incentive for me to keep wanting to get better at it and play. In fact, I would say the community is probably the biggest reason I like fighting games. I really like meeting people over it. I love playing them. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure most people are going to want to put a 10. That actually participated in the beta, they'll probably put a 10. How satisfied were you with the contents of the game? Choose the level of satisfaction. Overall satisfaction? I feel... What could I complain? So let's like, if we start at a 10, let's try and knock it down. Can you think of anything that you've seen in the beta that you would knock it down from a 10? Personally speaking, I feel like the menus are very complicated. There's a lot of different menus, and they all do different shit. So I kind of want to bring it down a point for that. The cabinets are like only a one and done. You know, the cabinets, you sit at a cabinet, you only get one match, and then the next guy sits down. It should be a best out of 3, right? It should be a first, what is it, a first to 2? It should be 2 out of 3, the cabinets. So I would bring that down another point for that. I think that's it. There's really not much else I would complain about. As a game, it works. I mean, it works really great. And the content seemed, for what we experienced, it seemed fine. It all worked. I did have on the last day that I played, I had a network error, but I think that's fine. Yeah, first to 2 for sure. I agree. So I'll bring that down a bit. The battle gameplay. I mean, this is a loaded question. I assume they're probably talking more about the specific mechanics, in which case I am a fan of those. I'd probably give it a 9. I wouldn't give it a 10 because I don't fully understand what I'm doing with Street Fighter. But from what I did, and I played, and I mashed buttons, and I had a fun time, I'll give it a 9. And I'm mostly thinking about the drive impact. Really, I'm mostly just thinking drive impact with this 9 here, honestly speaking. Matchmaking speed, oh, well, I was happy with it until it didn't. So my last day, yesterday, I quit after like an hour and a half and went and played Darktide because it wasn't finding me a match. Admittedly, it was pretty early in the morning, and I don't know. It was pretty early in the morning, and it's just a beta. So maybe that's like I'm coloring it a little bit, but that happened. So I'm just going to put an 8 because for the most part, the matchmaking speed was really good. But then I had that day and I wanted to play, but it took like 15 minutes and it wouldn't find anybody. I sat at a cabinet and then it said there's an error. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go play Darktide. So I'm going to put 8 there. Network performance during battles. I honestly can't say I ever had any lag problem because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put a 10 because I swear I don't know. I really don't know if lag was a factor. I wasn't trying to be that precise, but it seemed good to me. Battle Hub match. I don't know what that means. Battle Hub match? Is that the cabinets? This must be the cabinets. I'm going to put a 5 for this because it needs to be first to 2. And the complicated menu system. Yeah. I'm going to put the combo, the choosing a character like before you sit down and stuff. I don't really like that. Yeah, I'll put a 5. Tournament matches? Oh, I didn't even do any of these. Shit. I'm going to put a 5 because I didn't put anything there. Because I didn't participate. Extreme Battle, same thing. I didn't participate. I'm just going to put a 5. They should put an NA. The graphics. Ooh, we were just talking some shit about this. All right. So, you guys who were talking shit about the graphics, what would you guys give it? I think the graphics are nice. Probably an 8. Graphics are an 8 for me. I like it. We're thinking similar. I think I would probably put an 8. Yeah, I feel good with 8. 8 sounds pretty good, right? Yeah. We talked about it. 10 out of 10 is better than Third Strike. Put it now. Wow. Man, it's a good thing Kyari does not have a mod status, or you would be hurting. I am going to refrain from your outburst, okay? I'm going to refrain. I want you to know I have a sword. I have a sword, and I was thinking about grabbing it just now. The characters. Ooh, characters! What are we going to do? I mean, everybody that I care about is in here with the exception of the T-Hawk character. Characters, No Claw 1. It didn't have the... Luke and Ryu are the two I care about right now. So it had them. But I really wanted to try that. What is the character, the T-Hawk replacement, the little girl with the 2 clubs? I wanted to play her. I wanted to see if she's any good. Lily. I'll put a 7. I'll put a 7. Well, yeah, I'll put a 7. Fuck it. There was no Lily. Luke's just a Giga Chad. 1. UI design. Ooh. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with the UI design. I think it's fine. I'll just put an 8. It's fine. It's not great. It could be better, but I wouldn't know how to make it better. The UI looks the way it looks, and I'm okay with that. You said you had problems with it? The UI? What was the problem that I had? Do you remember? I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of menus. I do have a trouble with the menus. But is that a UI design? You're right. That is a menu. That would be a UI design. I was thinking graphically. All right. I'm going to put like if we put it that way, because the thing is, I already did that for overall satisfaction. Well, okay. We can do it again. 6. I'm going to say 6. It's just, there's so many menus buried within menus, and it's really complicated, and it's annoying and shit. And when you queue for matchmaking and you sit at a cabinet, it disables the matchmaking. Like, what if you want to train? Yeah, I think a 6 is fine. Let's just do that. Which platform did you play? Very unfortunately, I played on the PS5. My thumb still hurts from that. What type of connection did you use? I am a wired LAN. Please, if you chose Wi-Fi, I hope you hurt yourself. If you chose other, I would love to know how you managed to get an internet connection without one of these 2 things. That's a 4, bro? 6 means you a little happy? All right, 4 it is. I'm convinced. That's all you had to say. Please tell us which platforms you have access to. I have a 4. I have a 5. I have a PC. That's it. Dial-up? Come on, bro. You're going to play fucking fighting games on a dial-up? Or anything on a dial-up? Can you even use the internet on a dial-up anymore? Like a basic ass web page, it's gonna have like too many images. That'd be hilarious. Please tell us how much you first found out about the beta test. Oh, tell us how you found out first. Probably game media. Maybe? Probably game media. Yeah, I think game media. DSL satellite? Now we're talking. Please tell us what fighting games you have played. Oh boy. I played Street Fighter 2 as a kid. I played Alpha a little bit as a kid. I did not play 3. I played 4 when it came out. I played 5 when it came out. I played virtually all of the Tekken series. I've played virtually all of the Mortal Kombat series. I've only played 2 Guilty Gears. I've only played Xrd and Strive. I'm going to count that because my gamer cred is important to me. King of Fighters, I bought the last one. That counts. Dragon Ball FighterZ, played it for 2 days. Hated the online. It was a very pretty game though. Super Smash Bros. I'm just gonna skip that. That's not really a fighting game. This is a joke. This is one of those gotchas. Smash is not actually a fighting game. They just put that there to test your knowledge. If you click on this, your survey is immediately disregarded. Just point that out there. A fighting game other than these listed. Have you played Tony Hawk Pro Skater though? Hell yeah, I have. I fucking love that game. Toxic streamer. Hey, come on, man. Formerly rude. Playing Smash right now? Damn, I got a Smash main in chat. Hey, I'm sorry, man. But your game is garbage and it's not a real fighting game. I'm sorry to tell you. Have I played another one? I mean, could I? Injustice. I played Injustice. That's another fighting game. Did I play any like shitty fighting game that was like an indie game? I don't usually go for those. I'm gonna put another one because I have played like Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. Oh no, that would be included here. No, it wouldn't be because it's different than these two. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that there because I'm a fucking snob and I'm a nerd and I've played everything and I'm so cool because I play video games. Should never be trusted. Yeah, that sounds about right. For those that have played Street Fighter 5, this is my 1 month at release count. Please tell us what rank you hold in that game. All right, chat. Oh, I'm so sorry, chat. It looks like some kind of thing happened. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I'll give me a second. I gotta fix the screen here a little bit. Oh, okay. I see the problem. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Anyways, let's get back to the survey. I don't want to. What was that last question I was on? That's right. How often do you usually play video games? Of course. Boy, I stream like every fucking day. What do you mean they're calling you out? They're not calling me out. I stream like every day. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Are you accusing? What are you accusing? I don't know what you're accusing. A few months at a time, a few times every week, once or twice a week, once every 2 days. Pretty much every day. Look, I pretty much play every day, right? I stream like every day after work. It's not true. I stream like every other day probably, but still. My gamer cred. All right, they're gonna look at this survey and be like, this motherfucker plays only every other day. What a piece of garbage. Come on, I'm closer pretty much every day. By the way, I put bronze for the question number 9. I'm going to move on, though. How long do you play games in a single day? Wait, that's toxic. Why did they ask rank? I'm laughing so hard. Listen, technically I was in silver, okay? Technically, I was in silver for 1 day. I had silver on my Alex. I got in the silver, and then the very next match, I lost, and it kicked me out of silver. And I never got back to it. Just casually in the middle, like, be for real, are you ass? Yeah, they definitely called us. They just called everybody out. How long do you play games in a single day? Ooh, I've been probably 1 to 2. Probably 1 to 2, maybe 2 to 3. Probably 1 to 2, really. Honestly, after work, I don't have a lot of time, so probably more like 1 to 2. How much do you usually spend on games per month? I don't spend any money on games. I only pirate. Yeah, right. I am a PC Master Race now, so good. Wait, per month? Oh boy. This fluctuates wildly because I spend $25 every month for GameFly, and I usually rent my shit so I can stream it and talk shit about it and throw it back. So maybe just the 1 through 50. But every once in a while I will buy a game and play it on PC. So it would I'm probably going to say fuck me. I don't know. Probably more like this. Probably more like this is what I would guess. But I just got a new PC, so I'm going to play more PC games, which means I'm going to be spending more money. Fuck it. I'm just going to go with that. Have you pre-ordered 6? You're just going to flat out? Did Todd Howard write this fucking survey? This motherfucker, like, did you buy Skyrim yet? What? Todd, what are you even doing here? Fucking like how many times did you buy Skyrim? Like what? If you bought Skyrim once, why didn't you buy it a second time? Please upload the file path in which Skyrim is installed. This survey is getting sketchy as AF out here, man. Come on. Also, have you heard of Starfield? It's a great game, I swear to God. Hell yeah, Fortnite. No, I haven't pre-ordered yet. Come on, man. Give me a fucking break. I just had a beta. It's 6 more months. Come on. Ooh. Hey, do I have any other shit to say? What do I have to say? Oh. Please make the menus no, how do I please make the menu system less complicated? Is that because there is a lot of menus? I guess that's the best way to put it because there's a lot of menus. These questions. Good shit about Star Citizen. Man, that game is still going. Yeah, I'm just about done. I just remembered that we had a survey to fill out. I have a survey to fill out, and it asked me what rank I was in Street Fighter V. And Tulin's gonna be like, you were never silver. This man's lying on his survey. He just goes online and tells lies. This motherfucker's a blue rank. That's good. You don't know when to push buttons on specific. Also, when I push buttons, I get hit. So let's stop that. I would like to stop that, please. Please do not allow that to happen anymore. First Dan. What the fuck you lying? It's great. Confirm answers. Nicely done, chat. Survey. Please check your answers before submitting the survey. What? Oh, come on, man. We already been over this. We don't need to go through all this shit again. Yeah. Silver rank. Get the fuck out of here. Submit my answers. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, now that I've been thoroughly humiliated in front of all my new friends, which, by the way, thanks for joining us there, Mac and PDAT and the other guy. I'm gonna go. I have to go shop. So, it's still snowing outside. I gotta go shop and pick up some dinner and some food so that I don't starve at work tonight. I'm not your friend. You insulted my favorite game. What? Oh, Smash? Yeah, fuck Smash. Your Cloud Strife is poor. Fucking learn to use Ganondorf. See that talk that shit to my Kirby in-game and find out what happens. You didn't even play Street Fighter 5, did you? I played it for 1 month and I gave it like 100. I think I spent almost $200 on Street Fighter 5. It was like 170 something. So, yeah. I did play it for like a month and a half, almost 2 months. And then I paid it for more season passes. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's an actual thing. This is partly like I was really, really excited for Street Fighter 5. And I played all the betas and I was like, whatever, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. And then I don't know. I played it for like a month. I was not having fun with my wins. I wasn't having fun with my losses. And then, I was like, well, just put it aside for now. You'll play it later. You'll play. It was that you'll play it later mentality. You're going to go back and play it. So I got the season pass for like 2 more seasons or something. And then Akuma dropped. And then fucking Cody came out. And, I might have bought a stage and a costume too. Because I really liked Alex back when he came out. So I spent a lot of money on that shit. I'm not even gonna lie. That game, when I say that game beat me up and took my wallet, I actually literally mean I spent a lot of money on Street Fighter 5. And I didn't want to, but I ended up doing it. They got me. I was a fucking, what do they call them now? What do they call them in gotchas? Is it whales? When gotchas, they try to get whales, right? They put things at like really high prices and only the whales buy them. Big fat money making motherfuckers. That was me. Street Fighter 5 got me with that shit. But I'm showing them because I shat all over Street Fighter 5 for years. And now I'm going to play Street Fighter 6 and give them more of my money. That's going to show them motherfuckers. It's my favorite channel lore. No, I think your favorite channel lore is either Baby Rage or the Pigeons. You remember the Pigeons. I remember the Pigeons. Man, I hope we have this much fun when Tekken 8 comes out. Thanks for joining me here, guys. Especially you random dudes that just tuned in to hear me talk shit about Street Fighter 6. That was fun. Or Melatonin. That's a good one, too. Yeah, that one's a really good one, because I still like Melatonin. PDAT Mac Daddy Swag 69. That's a hell of a name. Thanks for the follows, pal. And then, of course, a certain individual who's feet related and perhaps of the feminine quality donated $7 and a bunch of fucking words that I'm not going to read. Regardless, very generous. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very fun. I've been streaming for almost 9 years, chat. It's almost been 9 years. Sometime this month it will be 9 years. I have a birthday on Christmas. I am turning old. The hair continues to recede. Look at that shit. It's falling out. I'm going to be good old 38. Wild. Super wild. It's crazy out here. 9 years streaming. Old as shit. Bald. Molding. Seething. That's me. Can we get a before and after of your hairline? No. I don't think I had a hairline to do that with. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Let me go see. What was my first video that I ever had? Oh, but that had the dog on it, so that wouldn't be of any good. Shit, dude. I don't know. Time-lapse video or rot? Oh, riot. I'm not sure if I've ever had a video that showed me with a whole head of hair. Because I think when I started streaming, like, I was already balding. Like, it was already gone out the window at that point. It says I have 130 videos. Is that true? 130? That's it? That's all I've got? Or is that all it's going to go back for? There's no way I only have 150. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's a lot more than that. I don't know how to go far enough back to show you guys my hairline. I'm not sure if any of my old-ass videos have that. Regardless, it's a really shitty thing to say that and make a guy try and find his hair, his missing hair. That's really fucked up of you, Tuled. And the rest of chat for laughing at that joke this whole time. Regardless, I do appreciate your company. Especially everybody who came around here to hear me talk shit about Street Fighter 6. That doesn't usually happen. I want you guys to know that Mac Daddy came in here saying, I didn't actually play Street Fighter. I just like hearing you talk about tit. All right? Now, I think that might have been a typo and he meant to say talk about it. But whether I'm talking about it or tits, he is here enjoying me talking about it. I'm going to take that as a huge W. All right? That's the biggest win I've ever had. So this was a great stream. I expect a time lapse. Get bent. Fuck you. Trying to tell me to get good at Street Fighter. Your literal advice to my problems with Street Fighter was literally get good. Go fuck yourself. But I want you to have a good day before you do that. And the rest of you also have a good day. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get some food. Take it easy, all right? I got to go. I got to go shop. I'll see you guys like tomorrow or something. Maybe the next day. Because tomorrow I'm going to be all fucked up from work. But I'll try and get back here as soon as I can. Look forward to some more Dark Tide. That shit's going to be tight. It's good to see you then, QT. We don't get to see you too often, pal. You have a good one. The rest of you guys have a good one too. See you later.